The spirit island had been plagued by a thief, yet Qin Ming was helpless against this cunning villain, which left him exceedingly frustrated. He carefully examined the Tier 3 profound turtle sea covering array, finding no flaws or anomalies. This is really peculiar. Next, Qin Ming accelerated the ripening process, quickly harvesting all the remaining spiritual peaches on the 5-5 elements primordial spirit peach trees. Afterward, 2 blue entry leaves instantly appeared in Qin Ming's sea of consciousness. Originally, I could have harvested over 20 spiritual peaches, but unfortunately, the thief stole and ate 10 of them. It's truly despicable. Qin Ming put away the spiritual peaches in hand, throwing one to the profound water crocodile to extend its lifespan as well. With such a menace on the spirit island, how could Qin Ming sleep soundly? He had to find a thief by any means necessary. Otherwise, his spirit plants would continue to suffer. It can evade even my divine thought that's on par with a golden core stage. It definitely isn't an ordinary demon creature. But before that, let me first boost my strength. Qin Ming had the profound water crocodile guard outside the cave mansion. Then with a thought, he used the abundant lifespan X5 entry. In Mysterious Realm, an immense force of time suddenly pressed upon Qin Ming. Subsequently, his lifespan increased by a full 250 years, reaching a total lifespan of over 860 years. It's exceptionally extended, far surpassing the lifespan of a golden core ancestor. Qin Ming grinned with glee, feeling the joy brought by the substantial increase in his lifespan. Moments later, he then used the Qi Blood Spring entry. An unprecedented, surging force of Qi blood erupted from within him, continuously gushing forth, rushing through his meridian circulation. Qin Ming promptly seized the opportunity, beginning to cultivate the 100 Treasures Glazed scripture. 2 days later, behind Qin Ming, a brilliant flash of blood-red light suddenly burst forth. The blood-colored phantom of the four-armed demon ape automatically appeared, the majestic true Qi blood spirit continuously condensing, and the silhouette of the blood-colored demon ape became clearer. Gradually, a commanding suit of treasure armor appeared on the demon ape, exuding power. The conditions for the third transformation of true gang transformation are finally fulfilled. At this moment, his physical body further strengthened, his power surged, resembling a human-shaped primordial giant beast, invincible. Next, Qin Ming took out the beast hide once more, injecting his true Qi blood spirit into it. Moments later, having met the cultivation conditions, the 100 beasts visualization image of various demon beasts lit up again on the beast hide map. Qin Ming immersed his heart spirit, beginning to choose among the demon beast phantoms. A few breaths later, he exited the 100 beasts visualization image, but his expression turned somewhat grim. To fully cultivate the third transformation of true gang transformation, it requires refining the essence blood of 3-tier, 2 perfection level demon beasts. Isn't this challenge too great? Qin Ming suddenly felt troubled. Obtaining the essence blood of tier 2 perfection demon beasts isn't easy. Last time, he managed to slay an earth-shaking bear demon of tier 2 perfection, but had already fed it to advance his life-bound spirit plant. However, Qin Ming also learned from the 100 Beasts visualization image. The difficulty of the third transformation of true gang transformation is justified, because once the third transformation is mastered, the body refining technique would reach a realm comparable to the golden core stage. Looks like the matter of demon beast essence blood can only be slowly planned. After completing cultivation, Qin Ming was ready to go outside for some air. Suddenly, a commotion erupted outside the cave mansion, with urgent calls from the profound water crocodile in his mind. Qin Ming's expression changed. Could it be that the peach thief has come out again to commit their crime recklessly? His figure instantly blurred, disappearing from the original spot in an instant. When he reappeared, he had arrived beneath his life-bound spirit plant Yin Yang Profound Vine, according to the profound water crocodile's signal. But when Qin Ming took a good look at the scene in front of him, he couldn't help but be deeply shocked. Such a big rat. He saw a huge, gray-furred mouse demon hanging from a black vine of the yin-yang profound vine. At this moment, it was firmly entangled by the profound vine. No matter how it struggled, it was to no avail, swinging like a swing under the tree with a rather comical appearance. All right, finally caught it. Qin Ming's gaze was sharp, and his divine thoughts swept over, confirming that this mouse demon was the same figure that had stolen the spiritual peach from under his nose that day. It seems this rascal's thieving heart remains unchanged. After stealing the spiritual peach, it even wanted to snatch the Tier 3 spirit-transforming demon fruit under the life-bound spirit plant, only to be caught by the yin-yang profound vine. However, the more Qin Ming looked at this mouse demon, the more familiar it seemed, as if he had seen it somewhere before. Suddenly, a light flashed in his mind. This, how does it resemble the Tier 3 heaven-devouring rat demon king that attacked vast sea immortal city? But the gray mouse demon before him only had the cultivation of late-stage Tier 1, equivalent to the Qi cultivation stage of a human race. Even so, Qin Ming broke out in a cold sweat, not daring to take it lightly. He immediately drew the cyan, Simurg spirit sword. Prepare to strike while it's weak. No matter if it's a demon king or not, daring to brazenly come to his spirit island to steal spiritual fruit is a grave sin. Qin Ming formed a cyan nether sword technique with his hand and infused mana into the cyan Simurg sword without reservation. A surge of cyan sword chi shot up into the sky, about to slash down at the gray mouse demon. But at the life-and-death moment, the gray mouse demon surprisingly spoke human words, hurriedly begging for mercy. Wait, stop, please stop. Fellow Taoist, you mustn't act. Spare my life. It was Qin Ming's first time hearing a demon beast speak, and he was momentarily stunned, more convinced that this rascal must be that Tier 3 demon king, determined to eliminate it. He ignored its pleas, his gaze cold, and determined to send it on its way with one sword strike. Just happens to need demon beast essence blood for cultivation? Didn't expect one to deliver itself. The cyan sword aura enlarged in midair, about to slash down on the mouse demon. The gray mouse demon, hanging upside down on the vine, was so frightened that its soul flew out, shouting with all its might. I'm going to die. Stop, big brother, stop. Don't you want the follow-up cultivation technique of this celestial demon refining form strategy? Upon hearing this, Qin Ming frowned, withdrew his sword technique, and coldly asked, What? Celestial demon refining form strategy. What does it have to do with me? The mouse demon, seeing Qin Ming had stopped, exhaled a long breath. It had really scared it to the point of nearly wetting itself earlier. The human boy opposite truly killed without hesitation. It puzzledly said, It's the body refining technique you were cultivating just now. It's precisely the famous celestial demon refining form strategy of my demon race. You've already cultivated to the second realm. How could you not know? I mean, you are truly a freak. With only a human's flesh and blood, to cultivate to such a level, it seems you're only one step away from breaking through to the third realm, true extreme body. Hearing this from the mouse demon, Qin Ming considered his own cultivation experiences with the 100 Treasures Glaze scripture and the runes not written in human race script on the beast hide, and it was highly possible what the demon said was true. Thinking this, Qin Ming's expression turned grim. He didn't expect his main cultivation body refining technique to be a demon race's cultivation technique, not knowing whether it would cause any issues. After all, the physiological structure of a demon beast body differs from that of the human race. The gray mouse demon seemed to notice Qin Ming's worry and immediately said, Fellow Taoist, rest assured, since you've cultivated the celestial demon refining form strategy and are still lively, it means there's nothing wrong. Hearing this, Qin Ming was both angry and amused. Who's your fellow Taoist? You keep calling me fellow Taoist. So what's your story exactly? If my guess is correct, you should be that heaven-devouring rat demon king, heavily injured by the joint efforts of the 4 great golden core. Qin cultivated the human race's 100 Treasures Glaze scripture Not the celestial demon refining form strategy, as you say. Exposed by Qin Ming, the gray mouse demon was momentarily speechless. It awkwardly chuckled and then candidly admitted, "Fellow Taoist's insight is impressive. Indeed, this humbles me, indeed. That 100 treasures glazed scripture is just a cover for the celestial demon refining form strategy. Otherwise, how could I instantly see the progress of your cultivation?" "Oh, so that's how it is. However, Qin has no intention of cooperating with the tiger. I shall perform a soul search on you. Maybe I'll find something I want." Qin Ming sneered coldly, preparing to conduct a soul search on it. He secretly observed for a while. It seems this heaven-devouring rat demon king, for some unknown reason, had its cultivation drastically reduced to the Qi cultivation stage level. The heaven-devouring rat demon king heard this and immediately erupted, crying out, "You brat, you're not honorable. Here's the truth. Celestial demon refining form strategy is a supreme cultivation of the demon race. Even I haven't cultivated it. Only those of royal blood are qualified. But I know how to get it. If you continue, I'll end myself, letting you never get it." Qin Ming sneered at the words, stopped his actions, and chuckled lightly. It seems that even the Grand Tier 3 Great Demon King has a strong desire to survive. Cold sweat was already trickling down the back of the heaven-devouring rat, seeing that this human brat before him was not easily fooled and was even going to use the soul-searching technique on him. Quickly, it forced a smile and said with a strained face, "How about this? I'm willing to sign a spirit contract with you, serving you for one full cycle of 60 years. Could you spare me just this once? Even though I've fallen in cultivation, I'm still of some use to you." The heaven-devouring rat, with one foot hanging upside down on the profound vine, swung back and forth like a swing, lifting his head with effort and spoke. Upon hearing this, Qin Ming pondered for a moment before speaking. Unless you're willing to sign a blood prohibition divine contract with me and serve as my spirit pet, then I might consider it." Upon hearing blood prohibition divine contract and the word spirit pet, the heaven-devouring rat became furious and cursed at Qin Ming. "A nobleman would rather die than be humiliated. Do I, a Tier 3 demon king, have no dignity, serving as a spirit pet to a human brat like you? How dare you think of such a thing? Itue, despicable, filthy human race. Had I not lost my cultivation, I would certainly make you look bad." Qin Ming couldn't help but smile at the other's appearance. He couldn't be sure what kind of bizarre and unpredictable methods this heaven-devouring rat demon king still had. Even if it fell to late-stage Tier 1, it had nearly left this late-stage foundation establishment cultivator at a loss before. If it weren't for the life-bound spirit plant Yin Yang Profound Vine, it wouldn't have been caught, this peach thief. The spirit contract is an equal agreement between human cultivators and demon beasts. Even if the cultivator dies, the demon beast remains unaffected. However, the blood prohibition divine contract is different, as it is a unilateral master-servant contract. The demon beast must offer a wisp of its life-bound essence soul, making its life and death entirely subject to the master's whims, allowing no resistance or means of breaking the contract. If the master dies, the spirit pet immediately perishes as well. The death of a demon beast, however, has no effect on the master. Qin Ming was cautious, considering that no Tier 3 demon king should be taken lightly. Otherwise, he'd rather kill it now than raise a potential threat. "Very well then. Today, I shall assist you on your journey." After saying this, Qin Ming's gaze turned cold, and he bent his right hand into a claw, with mana surging, reaching toward the head of the heaven-devouring rat, ready to perform soul-searching. But just then, the heaven-devouring rat demon king couldn't hold it in any longer and called out loudly again. Hey, stop. I give in. I'm willing to sign the blood prohibition divine contract with you. But can we set a time limit, just one full cycle of 60 years? From now on, you're the big one, and I'm the small one." Qin Ming furrowed his brow, gazing indifferently at the other. I still prefer your previously defiant demeanor. This heaven-devouring rat was truly adaptable, willing to resort to any means necessary to survive. After contemplating for a while, he spoke coldly. 2 full cycles. 2 cycles, Qin Ming reckoned, would be sufficient for him to break through to the initial stage of the Golden Core stage, at which point he would not fear this heaven-devouring rat demon king. Upon hearing this, the heaven-devouring rat, hanging from the profound vine, resembled a deflated ball and sighed heavily. "It's all right, it's truly my bad luck. Let's do as you said." Subsequently, the heaven-devouring rat exerted its demonic power, its face contorted with pain, and produced a wisp of life-bound essence soul. Seeing this, Qin Ming pinched a spell, using mana to cast a blood prohibition divine contract, absorbing the wisp of essence soul of the heaven-devouring rat. Instantly, a scarlet symbol formed in the air and split into 2, merging into the foreheads of both Qin Ming and the heaven-devouring rat. In an intangible way, a mysterious connection emerged in Qin Ming's mind, and from then on, every move in life of the heaven-devouring rat was under his control. "Are you satisfied now? Can you let me down?" The heaven-devouring rat, having just split its essence soul, appeared severely weakened. Qin Ming went over, grabbed the heaven-devouring rat by the tail, and lifted it from the profound vine, shaking it in his hand. "What should you call me?" Never had the heaven-devouring rat suffered such indignity, but with its life in Qin Ming's hands, it hesitated before saying, "Master, that's more like it." Qin Ming then dropped it on the ground and asked, "Tell me, how did you sneak onto my island?" That's my lifeblood talent called Forbidden Profound Light, which naturally restrains restrictions and can easily break array restrictions. "Then why couldn't I detect your whereabouts with my divine thought?" Qin Ming continued to ask. That's also one of my innate divine techniques. By consuming some demonic power, I can temporarily become invisible." Hearing this, Qin Ming twitched his mouth, not expecting that even with most of its cultivation lost, this creature could still possess such skills. It truly had remarkable abilities. "So tell me, what brought you to my island?" Upon hearing this, the heaven-devouring rat recalled the past and spoke with considerable sadness. Speaking of it only brings tears. After the battle at Vast Sea Immortal City, I was jointly injured by 4 golden core cultivators of the human race. To save my life, I had no choice but to use a forbidden technique at the cost of my cultivation realm, just to barely preserve my life. Since then, I dare not return to Beast Roar Mountain Range, and kept hiding until I found my way here. There's a kind of treasure-seeking talent in my bloodline. I detected many treasures on this island, so I came over, hoping to take the chance to restore some strength. But who would have thought I got caught by the Master's divine tree? Qin Ming was astonished after hearing the whole story and asked with confusion, "Why does a demon king of noble standing not dare to return to Beast Roar Mountain Range?" Upon hearing this, the heaven-devouring rat displayed a look of difficulty, hesitating to speak. Qin Ming immediately glared at it, prompting the heaven-devouring rat to startle and confess without hesitation. "Master, I'll tell you everything. Alas, we were living carefree in Beast Roar Mountain Range, not desiring to invade the human territories at all. It's all because of the directive from a lineage of demon kings in the Beast Roar Mountain Range, and we dared not disobey their orders, lest we face extermination." "Oh, which tribe?" It's the cyan-faced poison flood dragon tribe. They have royal demon bloodline within the Beast Roar Mountain Range, counted among the strongest few demon clans. Just a few years ago, the cyan-faced poison flood dragon demon king advanced to tier 3 late-stage semi-transformed great demon king, and many demon clans have submitted to its domination under duress. Among them is the heaven-devouring rat tribe I belong to. The nature of the cyan-faced poison flood dragon is ruthless and brutal, and with my pitiful state returning there, below my former cultivation, they'll certainly torment me to death. As Qin Ming learned such shocking secrets from the heaven-devouring rat, he couldn't help but gasp. Is a Tier 3 late-stage, semi-transformed, peerless Great Demon King. The emergence of such a terrifying entity in the Beast Roar mountain range. That's a huge threat not only to vast Immortal City, but to the entire southern wilderness cultivation realm. Moreover, the cyan-faced poison flood dragon is secretly orchestrating beast tides through other demon races. It seems they are plotting something significant. No way. Must find an opportunity to quickly inform Master Vast Sea and Wei Wuya about this. Under the yin-yang profound vine tree, the heaven-devouring Rat King was extremely frustrated. When it first discovered this place, seeing the dazzling treasures and spirit plants on the island, it was as if it had fallen into a treasure trove, filled with ecstatic excitement. On this island, not only is there an intact middle-grade Tier 3 spiritual vein, but even the legendary rare treasure, the Tier 3 spirit transformation demon fruit, exists here. As the Demon King within the Beast Roar mountain range, it had only heard of the fruit's great name, but had never tasted it personally. The heaven-devouring rat was instantly thrilled, excited beyond measure, seeing hope for restoring its cultivation to its peak. However, the heaven-devouring rat's sixth sense is extremely strong, sensing that near the spirit transformation demon fruit, there must be an incredible presence guarding it. Approaching rashly would have unimaginable consequences. Thus, the heaven-devouring rat decided to set its sights on the 5 elements primordial spirit peach first, hoping to slightly recover its strength before plotting for the spirit transformation demon fruit. After all, after a period of secret observation, the heaven-devouring rat also discovered that this human boy on the island was truly extraordinary. Not only did he cultivate so many legendary high-tier spirit plants, but what shocked it most was that he had actually mastered a supreme cultivation technique of their demon race, the celestial demon refining form strategy. And his strength was not to be underestimated. Its invisibility divine technique could only be maintained for a limited time, and if it dragged on, it would inevitably fall into the opponent's hands sooner or later. Thus, while Qin Ming was cultivating, it decided to take a risk and steal the spirit transformation demon fruit. However, who would have thought that the island also hid a towering giant black profound vine, which completely caught it off guard. I never expected this human boy not to play by the rules. I intended to use the celestial demon refining form strategy to lure him and find a way to escape. But for heaven's sake, this kid keeps wanting to search my soul and even wants to get rid of me. His killing intent is truly too heavy. Such a terrifying demon vine. Could this kid be the legendary child of destiny? This human boy's own strength is not weak, and he has 2 Tier 2 spirit pets with him, one of which is already late-stage Tier 2. The other seems not far from breaking through to late-stage Tier 2. Following him seems to have potential. Thinking it over, if not for the heaven-devouring rat feeling there was some potential as Qin Ming's spirit pet, it would have rather died than submit just now. Now my life is entirely in his hands. Thinking too much is no use. But how could I be so easily manipulated? Just wait for it. Don't let me find a chance to turn the tables. The heaven-devouring rat appeared obedient and well-behaved, standing in front of Qin Ming, but its mind was turning endlessly with thoughts. Qin Ming sneered secretly, not knowing what the heaven-devouring rat was planning, but he did not expose it, instead said to it, "Tell me everything you know, without leaving anything out." "All right, as long as it's something Master wants to know, I'll definitely say everything without holding back," the heaven-devouring rat quickly said. Then, the heaven-devouring rat disclosed everything it knew about the internal affairs of the demon race. After an hour, Qin Ming stood there, deep in thought, knowing from the heaven-devouring rat's words. Besides the cyan-faced poison flood dragon, there are several other powerful demon clans in the Beast Roar mountain range. Among them, the Silver Moon Celestial Fox, the Horned Deer race, and the Mountain Giant Ape have demon kings close to late-stage Tier 3, only lacking a breakthrough opportunity. When the time comes, a late-stage Tier 3 half-transformed Great Demon will be born. The situation is unfavorable for the human race. By the way, where is the celestial demon refining form strategy you mentioned earlier? Qin Ming suddenly asked. Upon hearing this, the heaven-devouring rat's head shrunk, answered guiltily, "Well, actually I also don't know where the cultivation technique is, but only royal bloodline demon beasts can practice the celestial demon refining form. The cyan-faced poison flood dragon lineage should have it." Upon hearing this, Qin Ming became furious. "So you just intended to deceive me?" "Yeah, not entirely. The cultivation technique you practice is indeed the celestial demon refining form strategy. I can guarantee that. Getting the cultivation technique from the late-stage cyan-faced poison flood dragon demon king is unrealistic," Qin Ming thought. After a while, the heaven-devouring rat talked for a long time, its mouth becoming dry. It then started thinking about the spirit transformation demon fruit once again. "Hee. Master, my cultivation has fallen to late-stage Tier 1, and I can help you with quite limited things. Why not reward me with a spirit transformation demon fruit? Allow me to restore some strength so as to serve you better?" The profound water crocodile nearby, hearing this guy immediately targeting the spirit transformation demon fruit, bared its teeth with a low growl. If it was before, the heaven-devouring rat king wouldn't even consider a late-stage Tier 2 demon beast. But times have changed. The mouse has fallen to the plain and is being bullied. The heaven-devouring rat quickly chuckled towards the profound creek crocodile. Qin Ming said bad-temperedly, "Not a chance. I haven't even settled the score with you for stealing the spiritual peach." Then, how do you want to settle this?" Qin Ming immediately took out the divine hoe from the storage pouch and threw it before the heaven-devouring rat, sternly ordering, "Go farm for me, and only come to talk about the spirit transformation demon fruit when I'm satisfied with the farming." The spirit-devouring rat widened its eyes, incredulously pointed at its nose. "What? You want me to farm? Did I hear wrong?" Qin Ming's tone was full of absolute certainty. "What? You don't want to obey my orders?" "Hee. No, I wouldn't dare not follow Master's words. I'll go farm right away." Then, Qin Ming took out some Spirit Valley and Spirit Grass seed from the storage pouch and tossed them to the spirit-devouring rat. "Plant them well for me. If you waste the spirit seeds, I'll flay you the same." Afterward, the spirit-devouring rat took the spirit seeds, reluctantly took the divine hoe, and started farming on the main peak's spirit field. Under the scorching sun, the heaven-devouring rat huffed and puffed, holding the divine hoe to dig, sweating profusely. "To think of me, the heaven-devouring rat king, known for my glory, reduced to farming for others. Truly sad. How lamentable. A dignified rat king becoming a field mouse. Is a disgrace to even mention it. Boo-hoo. Humph. Human kid, remember this. Today's shame will be repaid doubly someday. 30 years east of the river, 30 years west." The heaven-devouring rat cursed Qin Ming under its breath while wielding the hoe. Inside the cave mansion, Qin Ming looked at the heaven-devouring rat diligently cultivating the spirit field outside, deep in thought. "If not for the heaven-devouring rat falling into my hands, I wouldn't know the Demon Beast clan in the Beast Roar Mountain range has grown so powerful to an unpredictable extent. I was truly lucky that day to have killed the earth-shaking giant bear, stumbled and escaped the Beast Roar Mountain range without entering other demon clans' territories. These are just the demon races on the surface. According to the heaven-devouring rat, in the depths of the Beast Roar Mountain range, there exist even more unknown demon clans. The waters run very deep. Late-stage Tier 3 Great Demon Kings might only be countered by the late-stage Golden Core ancestor of Liang Country's Profound Creek Valley. Realizing the gravity of the situation, Qin Ming decided to inform Master Vast C of the news promptly. However, going in his capacity to report seemed inappropriate. Not to mention explaining the source of the information, tracking back to the heaven-devouring rat king would be troublesome. He gazed at the working heaven-devouring rat outside. His eyes lit up, suddenly having an idea. Qin Ming wrote the internal information of the beast Roar Mountain Range into a jade scroll. The last signature was Long Taoist. This Long Taoist identity of his still held some weight in the cultivation realm of Wei. Ever since he sent Duguyang flying with a punch at the Forbidden Ridge, he was ranked in the top 3 of the Foundation establishment list of Wei. Using his identity to convey messages, the credibility was quite high. After completing it, Qin Ming called over the heaven-devouring rat. The heaven-devouring rat was busy farming when it heard Qin Ming's summons. It quickly threw aside the divine hoe and ran over. "Master, what are your orders?" Now being under someone else's roof, it kept its posture very low, adapting to its new role quickly. Qin Ming, seeing its demeanor, nodded with satisfaction. Then he handed the jade scroll to the heaven-devouring rat and said, "Take this jade scroll to Lim Yuanqing, the alliance leader of the Loose Alliance, and secretly place it near him." "Huh? Who is Lim Yuanqing?" "I don't know him." The heaven-devouring rat replied, puzzled. "Go to Phoenix Perch Island for a stroll, and you'll know who he is." Qin Ming said calmly. "Oh, that's a small matter. I'll go then." Given the heaven-devouring rat's ability to come and go freely on Qin Ming's Wangyue Island without being noticed by him, accomplishing this task should be quite easy. But as the heaven-devouring rat took the jade scroll, it paused for a moment, clearly seeing through the scroll's restriction and noticing its contents. However, it pretended as if nothing had happened, put away the item, and went out. Qin Ming watched the departing figure of the heaven-devouring rat with a deep and thoughtful gaze. Once this information is spread, I'm afraid it won't just be Wei country. The entire political landscape of Liang country, Jin country, Wu country, and even the entire southern wilderness cultivation realm will undergo earth-shattering changes. In just half a day, the heaven-devouring rat returned from outside. "Master, the task is completed." The heaven-devouring rat reported to Qin Ming. Qin Ming asked, "So fast? You must know by now what the message I had you deliver concerns." "It doesn't matter. I've already reached such a miserable state. How much worse can it get? Tired, just let it all end. Frankly, I can't wait for the cyan-faced poison flood dragon to die sooner. It'd be a contribution to the beast Roar Mountain Range." The heaven-devouring rat replied, despondent. "Is there anything else, Master? If not, I'll get back to work." Qin Ming. Phoenix Perch Island. Inside the cave mansion where the alliance leader of the 72-island Loose Alliance resided, Lim Yuanqing got up from the bed, ready to go out and handle official duties. Since taking the position of alliance leader, he has been swamped with trivial matters, visibly aging a lot. Lim Yuanqing stepped to the windowsill of the room, about to open the window for fresh air, when the corner of his eye suddenly caught sight of something on the table. The next moment, he was instinctively shocked. Someone had sneaked into the room and placed a jade scroll there, and he hadn't noticed at all. After a moment, as an alliance leader, Lim Yuanqing quickly calmed down. He thought for a moment, picked up the jade scroll, and immersed his divine thought into it. After browsing its contents, his face changed drastically. Lim Yuanqing processed the information inside, stunned for the time it takes to drink a cup of tea. Then he carefully stored the jade scroll and hurriedly left, ordering his subordinates. "Quickly invite several elders and the vice alliance leader over, and also prepare a Dharma ship to Vassi Immortal City." Yes. A day later, Lim Yuanqing delivered the message to several Golden Core ancestors in Vassi Immortal City. In no time, the city, which had just recovered from the impact of the beast tide, became tense and filled with unease again. Not long after, the news from the beast Roar Mountain Range reached the major forces of the 4 countries in the southern wilderness cultivation realm. In the cultivation realm, it seemed a greater storm was beginning to brew. Meanwhile, Qin Ming, who had spread this information, was leisurely watching the heaven-devouring rat farm. And I have to say, these rat-type demon beasts are indeed adept at farming. perhaps thanks to the experiences of the Tier 3 Demon King. Outside the main peak, dozens of acres of spirit field have been added, meticulously tended. Some are planted with beast fong rice and low-tier spiritual herbs, and the spirit plant skill of the spirit-devouring rat had reached an entry-level stage. 2 years flew by unnoticed. As Qin Ming expected, the beast tides outside erupted again, growing increasingly fierce and approaching an uncontrollable situation. During this time, Qin Ming didn't leave his doors, continuing to cultivate and farm on the island, his mana cultivation advancing steadily, taking a big step toward foundation establishment perfection. The beast fong rice and spiritual herbs that the heaven-devouring rat had planted also matured. After Qin Ming harvested the spirit plants, he gave it spirit seeds of Tier 2 spirit rice, letting it continue farming. "Sai, he's really treating me as a farming tool, huh? What a dreadful guy." The heaven-devouring rat helplessly took the spirit seeds, ready to return to the field to dig, but Qin Ming stopped it. "Wait." The heaven-devouring rat thought there was something else for it to do. But then Qin Ming retrieved a soil-yellow spirit fruit and tossed it to it. The heaven-devouring rat caught the spirit fruit with wide eyes and was instantly overjoyed. "Spirit-transforming demon fruit. Your performance during this time has been pretty good. Consider this a reward," Qin Ming said nonchalantly. The heaven-devouring rat grinned happily. "Thank you, master, for the reward. This is what you deserve. Go ahead." Afterward, the heaven-devouring rat took the spirit-transforming demon fruit and went to restore its cultivation. Half a day later, a surge of demon energy abruptly spread across the spirit field. After consuming the spirit-transforming demon fruit, the heaven-devouring rat's cultivation was restored to the middle stage of Tier 2, and it was estimated that consuming another piece could restore it to Tier 2 perfection realm. However, Qin Ming wasn't in a hurry to give it another. "So you've really turned this great me into a farming tool. What a terrible guy." The heaven-devouring rat reluctantly took the spirit seeds, ready to return to the field for digging, but was suddenly alarmed by Qin Ming, who stood before it. In the sky above the spirit island, a spiritual energy vortex began to gather, pouring into the hive. Qin Ming looked up at the yin-yang profound vine. "Don't worry, everyone will be working together from now on." In addition to this soul-destroying poison sting, its tail now has a chilling incorporeal sting, exuding a truly terrifying aura. It's actually the poison of time. Qin Ming learned about this divine poison sting from the silver-winged frost bee through mind sensing. This time poison sting can bypass any defense. Any living creature struck by the sting will deplete its remaining lifespan within a few breaths and rapidly die of old age. However, this divine ability is a significant burden for the silver-winged frost bee as well, because every time this poison sting is used, it requires the burning of its own lifespan as the cost. Within the same realm, burning 1 year of the silverwing's lifespan can exchange for 10 years of the opponent's lifespan. That's a 1-10 ratio. If it's across a great realm, the ratio reverses and the lifespan exchange ratio becomes 10-1. It's like if facing a golden core ancestor or a Tier 3 demon king. The silver-winged frost bee would need to consume 10 years of its own lifespan to trade for 1 year of the opponent's lifespan. It's essentially a self-destructive attack. If the silver-winged frost bee consumes 1 year of lifespan, it can cut down the opponent's lifespan by 10 years. If it encounters some old golden core ones who have barely any lifespan left, it might still be surprisingly effective. It seems the power of this divine ability is astonishing, but can't be used frequently. It can only be an ace in the hole and cannot be easily used unless absolutely necessary. As a late-stage Tier 2 beast, the silver-winged frost bee has a much longer lifespan than human cultivators, having over 600 years, making it capable of using it a few times. I wonder if the yin-yang profound vine can help the silver-winged frost bee recover the lifespan loss. Alas, if only I had this divine ability, I now have over 800 years of lifespan and can keep refreshing lifespan entries, never running out. What a pity. At this moment, 3 spirit pets surrounded Qin Ming. 2 late-stage Tier 2 great demons and 1 mid-stage Tier 2 Demon King, whose strength is being restored. 2 middle-grade Turtle Spirit Puppets, plus my own strength. With such a formation, it far exceeds some major forces. Below the Golden Core stage, I can truly claim to be invincible. The tension outside should have eased a bit. It's time for an outing. I've ripened the 5 elements Primordial Spirit Peach again and can almost deliver it to the Mirror Snow Pavilion. On the way, I'll purchase a batch of alchemy spiritual materials. To be safe, Qin Ming brought all 3 spirit beasts with him this time. Afterward, Qin Ming put the profound water crocodile and heaven-devouring rat into the spirit beast bag, mounting the silver-winged frost bee. But just as he was about to set off, he heard the heaven-devouring rat shouting complaints from the spirit beast bag. "Damn, you big fool, move your butt over a bit. It's too damn cramped in here. What did you eat this morning? Your breath stinks." Qin Ming's mouth twitched as he listened to the commotion inside. He thought about it too. This spirit beast bag has been used for a long time, bought in the early years, and quite cheap. Seems like it's time to get them a bigger one. After that, he informed Wu Jiang and then rode the silver-winged frost bee off Wangyue Island. Along the way, Qin Ming observed the changes in the outside world. Various cultivators hunting demons and beast hordes gradually increased. Fortunately, since the Spirit Nest Islands were cleared of demon beasts by the joint forces of the 3 great powers, the number of beast attacks there has drastically reduced. The area with the most demon beasts is still around the vast sea Immortal City, where large herds of beasts constantly keep a vigilant eye. An hour later, Qin Ming arrived outside the gate of vast sea Immortal City. He was lucky not to encounter any beast attacks on the city today, although the city walls were still lined with guards on high alert. Qin Ming put away the silver-winged frost bee in midair, concealing his mana aura to early-stage foundation establishment before descending. He was not in disguise while handling affairs in vast sea Immortal City, showing his true appearance, and the guards at the city gate immediately recognized him. After he presented the vast sea order key, the guards respectfully opened the grand array to let him in. Once inside the outer city, Qin Ming could clearly feel the significant increase in cultivators compared to 2 years ago. Apart from various loose cultivators, many Sect cultivators from other 3 kingdoms were also present. Dressed in diverse Sect robes, they roamed the bustling streets. It seems my information being released has garnered attention from the higher levels of the Cultivation Realm, dispatching cultivators for assistance. After all, as the first sacred land for independent cultivators, Vast Sea Immortal City is strategically positioned at the intersection of 4 countries. If this natural pass were to be breached by beasts, the consequences would be unimaginable. Merely standing in the outer city, Qin Ming sensed new and unfamiliar Golden Core ancestors' aura around the core Vast Sea Peak. Apparently, Golden Core ancestors from the other 3 kingdoms have been sent for reinforcements. Qin Ming also visited the Feng family's place in the inner city and found everything thriving, as the Spirit Talisman store continued operating prosperously. Feng Sihai's cultivation has also improved significantly, just a step away from reaching Qi cultivation perfection. In the core area, Lova Wanjun had been reassigned to logistics, only needing to handle simple cultivator coordination and orders. Later, Qin Ming walked along the main road, crossing several alleys to enter the Mirror Snow Pavilion. "Oh, fellow Taoist Qin is here. Fellow Taoist Qin, why have you come? Why didn't you give us a heads up beforehand?" Inside the restaurant on the first floor, both Huang Fuqi and Gu Qingzhao were present. Upon seeing Qin Ming enter, they rose to greet him. "Haha, haven't been to the Immortal City for a long time, just out for a stroll." Qin Ming smiled as he greeted the 2. Then, at Gu Qingzhao's invitation, the 3 headed upstairs to a private room. For cultivators, 2 years' time passes in the blink of an eye, yet seeing Qin Ming again brought a rare joy to Gu Qingzhao. She knew Qin Ming was the type engrossed in cultivating in his spirit field, not bothering to come out unless necessary. It seemed he had good items to sell again. Last time, Qin Ming had mistakenly been teleported to the Beast Roar mountain range by the core area's teleportation array. Qin Zhao and others were worried, and after Qin Ming returned, Wu Jiang reassured them he was safe. He merely claimed he was sent to the edge of the Beast Roar mountain range without further elaboration. In the room, the remnants of spirit tea lingered, and sandalwood incense curled in the air. The few of them first discussed the recent situation. Fellow Taoist Gu, since the situation with the beast tide is worsening, why remain in the immortal city and not withdraw earlier? Qin Ming asked, puzzled. Qin Zhao replied, with the current situation, we no longer have the freedom to decide on our own. I previously mentioned to fellow Taoist Qin that the beast tide this time might be orchestrated behind the scenes by a Tier 3 late-stage Great Demon King of the Beast Roar mountain range. Forget elsewhere, even within the entire southern wilderness cultivation realm, there aren't necessarily any safe places. Naturally, we major powers must contribute to opposing the beast tide, unlike previous instances where we could stay out of it. Qin Ming realized with a start. Even the Mirror Snow Pavilion was essentially conscripted. Later, Qin Ming brought out the 5 elements primordial spirit peach, handing over more than 20 of them to Qin Zhao, saying, "These are the spirit peaches I previously promised fellow Taoist Gu to cultivate. Now the first batch of spirit peaches has matured. They are for you. With this, my transaction with fellow Taoist Gu is complete. From now on, the spiritual peach tree is mine, haha." Qin Zhao and Huangfu Qi gazed at the spirit peaches brimming with spiritual aura, their faces full of astonishment. Huangfu Qi swallowed with difficulty, tearing his gaze from the spirit peaches, then asked Qin Ming, "Is this the 5 elements primordial spirit peach of legend, rumored to enhance cultivators' skills and extend lifespan after consumption?" Qin Ming smiled calmly. "Indeed, if fellow Taoist Qi doesn't believe it, you can have a taste. The 5 elements primordial spirit peach is incredibly rare. How could Huangfu Qi dare to eat it privately? This batch of peaches was personally appointed by Gu Tongshan and must all be handed over to headquarters." Qin Zhao was once again full of admiration for Qin Ming's spirit plant skill. Even the spirit plant masters of Divine Herbal Valley, who were at a loss with such delicate spirit plants, found them easy to cultivate in Qin Ming's hands, like drinking water and eating food. Fellow Taoist Qin truly gave me a surprise. With this deal reached, from now on, the spiritual peach tree belongs to fellow Taoist Qin. Qin Zhao put away the spirit peaches in front of her, full of joy inside. The value of this batch of spiritual peaches is immeasurable. She didn't expect that Qin Ming would cultivate so many spiritual peaches in the first batch. Initially, Gu Tongshan and she expected that harvesting 5 or 6 would already be the limit. Unexpectedly, the harvest far exceeded their expectations. During the exchange of cups and mingling, the group exchanged some intelligence, and Qin Ming learned a lot of the latest news from Qin Zhao's mouth. After chatting for a while, Qin Ming asked, "I need a good spirit beast bag. Does your pavilion have any for sale?" I didn't expect fellow Taoist Qin to also have an interest in the path of beast taming, he. Qin Zhao showed a hint of surprise. Qin Ming smiled and said, "I wouldn't call it expertise, just something to dabble in when I'm idle on the island." Qin Zhao smiled, and then took out several high-tier spirit beast bags from her storage pouch and placed them on the table. The demand for spirit beast bags isn't very high in vast Sea Immortal City, so our pavilion hasn't stocked many. Currently, only these few are good. Fellow Taoist Qin, see if any suit your needs. Qin Ming picked up a spirit beast bag to inspect it and finally chose a blue spirit beast bag. The space inside, which was several times larger than the one he used now, more than enough for his 3 spirit beasts. "I'll take this one. How many spirit stones?" Qin Zhao smiled. "It's just a spirit beast bag. I'll give it to fellow Taoist Qin." Fellow Taoist Qin brought so many 5 elements primordial spirit peaches. "I don't even know how to repay you." Upon hearing this, Qin Ming didn't stand on ceremony and accepted the spirit beast bag. Having exchanged information for half a day within Mirror Snow Pavilion and acquired what he needed, Qin Ming bid farewell to a few people and left Mirror Snow Pavilion. A half stand of tea later, Just as he walked out of the main road, preparing to head to the core area's Pill Furnace Pavilion to buy materials, he passed by the Feng family's talisman shop. There, he saw a crowd of cultivators gathered, and a commotion was heard. Qin Ming halted his steps and merely extended his divine thought to see what was happening. The next moment, a familiar figure left him, quite surprised. Why is Level Jun here? Outside the Feng family's talisman shop, Feng family members were confronting a group of Sect cultivators. Level Jun seemed to be helping Feng Sihai to resolve the situation. The Sect cultivators were not from Wei country, but dressed in the Jin country spirit Sword Mountain attire. Qin Ming had heard of this sect, a top-tier force in the Jin country's cultivation realm, with a fake pill ancestor overseeing it. He listened in the shadows for a while, piecing together the story's details. The incident stemmed from when a Spirit Sword Mountain Qi cultivation stage disciple discovered an item in an inner-city stall, planning to seize a bargain. Unfortunately, he didn't have enough spirit stones. He asked the stall owner to hold it for him and returned to the Spirit Sword Mountain base to borrow spirit stones. However, upon returning with the spirit stones, he found that Feng Sihai had outbid him and taken the item. He questioned the stall owner, who naturally said it was sold to whoever paid first, leaving the disciple infuriated. The Spirit Sword Mountain disciple reported this to his sect. Initially, the Foundation establishment cultivators of Spirit Sword Mountain dismissed it as just junk, not worth mobilizing forces for. But once the disciple described the item in detail, the situation changed. Uncle Master Guan Mo, the disciple, has seen in an ancient book spirit patterns identical to those on that item. It could very possibly be an artifact fragment from ancient times. What? An ancient artifact fragment? Are you sure? The disciple dares not lie. Realizing it might be an artifact fragment, the Foundation establishment cultivators of Spirit Sword Mountain were unwilling to remain idle. Thus, the current scene unfolded. Spirit Sword Mountain was led by a square-faced, middle-aged, mid-stage Foundation establishment cultivator, referred to by the Qi cultivation disciple as Uncle Master Guanimo. At this moment, he was arrogantly speaking to Feng Sihai. Junior, sensibly hand over the item immediately. Otherwise, consider the consequences carefully. Can a mere Qi cultivation clan safeguard such a treasure? Your clan members cannot hide in vast sea Immortal City forever, can they? As he spoke, Guan Mo exuded a formidable spiritual pressure of a mid-stage Foundation establishment, attempting to intimidate Feng Sihai into submission. Feng Sihai, overwhelmed by this spiritual pressure, turned pale, nearly losing his footing, cold sweat drenching his back. But he still gritted his teeth, refusing to surrender to the other's demands, as he hesitated on whether or not to relinquish the item. At that moment, Level Jun raised her hand, blocking the spiritual pressure for him, with anger showing on her charming face. This Taoist of Spirit Sword Mountain, trades in vast sea Immortal City have always been free and cannot be subjected to buying under duress. A mere order officer of an Immortal City, why do you meddle so much? Do you intend to jeopardize your sect's cooperation with the Immortal City? Guan Mo, noting Luanjuan's low early-stage Foundation establishment cultivation, showed no favor despite her being from vast sea Immortal City. Moreover, it's not that our Jin country insisted on coming to vast sea Immortal City, but that your master Vast Sea issued a call for help, requiring our support. Consider the stakes carefully. Is it worth risking for a mere Qi cultivation clan? Besides, that item was reserved by a disciple of my sect. He just lacked enough spirit stones at the moment. Yu. Level Jun was left speechless, awkwardly blushing under her low cultivation in comparison to the other. She had never suffered such humiliation while Luvu Yang was around. She remembered Luvu Yang's words to occasionally look after the Feng family. Unexpectedly, the matter today involved a sect from another country, making it hard to handle. Seeing this, Guan Mo pressed further on Feng Sihai coldly. Junior, if you hand over the item, I will not hold this matter against you. Consider it never happened. He plainly had no intention of compensating the Feng family with spirit stones either. Feng Sihai sighed, understanding the weight of this as the head of the family, ready to avert calamity with financial loss, and let go of the item. He proceeded to turn to Levo Wanjun gratefully, saying, "Elder Levo, you have always treated us well, and I cannot trouble you further." Levo Wanjun, looking complex, also sighed. Thus, Feng Sihai rummaged through his storage pouch, pulling out a rusty copper mirror, preparing to hand it over. Suddenly, when Qin Ming's divine thought swept over the mirror, his expression changed to one of surprise. It truly is an artifact fragment. Could Feng Sihai be naturally endowed with a sacred body for finding bargains? First, his disciple stumbles upon innate earth in an outer cave mansion, and now snatching an artifact fragment, remarkable. At this time, the heaven-devouring rat king in his spirit beast bag stirred, communicating with Qin Ming in an astonished tone. "This aura, Master, something extraordinary is afoot. I seem to smell the scent of a mighty treasure." Qin Ming, upon hearing this, thought to himself that even the heaven-devouring rat said so. It must be a good thing. With this in mind, he made a decision. Qin Ming turned and entered a nearby empty alleyway, activating the true demon illusion from the primordial evil seed demon scripture, transforming into a fierce-looking burly man with a bristly beard. This was none other than the famous Elder Long of the Wei country's Cultivation Realm. Ever since he revealed the true secrets of the Beast Roar Mountain Range, even the Golden Core Ancestor Circle began to take notice of him. Yet, he was as elusive as the dragon that showed only its head, with no trace to be found. In front of Feng's talisman shop, Feng Sihai had already half-handed over the copper mirror. Opposite him, a trace of satisfaction appeared on Guan Mo's square face. Inwardly complacent, handling a Qi cultivation clan was no more than a cinch. He reached out to take it. Feng Sihai looked miserable, though he was unwilling to a great extent. Under such circumstances, he had to part with his treasure, losing not only a sum of spirit stones, but also suffering humiliation from the other party. At that moment, the brutal aspect of the cultivation realm's survival of the fittest was vividly demonstrated. But just then, out of the corner of his eye, he glimpsed a very familiar figure walking towards them. The bitterness on Feng Sihai's face suddenly turned to joy, and he swiftly retracted the hand that had been offering. The hand extended by Guan Mo from the Spirit Sword Sect was left awkwardly in the air. He felt his mid-stage foundation establishment dignity had been challenged. His expression changed, ready to fly into a rage. Then he saw Feng Sihai's face bursting with smiles, quickly calling out enthusiastically to a cultivator outside the crowd. "Elder Long, what brings you here?" A robust and extraordinary aura suddenly appeared in front of everyone. Qin Ming, disguised as the bearded burly man, walked with a majestic stride, exuding an aura of wildness. "What? Can I not come here?" "Of course, you're most welcome. Since our last meeting in Jialing City, the Feng family is eternally grateful for Elder Long's immense kindness. This junior has always been hoping for the opportunity to meet Elder Long again." Feng Sihai respectfully said to Qin Ming, "I happen to acquire a treasure, intending to keep it for you, and unexpectedly you appeared." With that, under everyone's watchful eyes, Feng Sihai handed the copper mirror fragment to Qin Ming. Seeing this scene, Luan Jun also showed a surprised expression. "Fellow Taoist Long, could it be?" Guan Mo of the Spirit Sword Mountain was left ignored. His face turned sour, as if a jar of soy sauce was knocked over. He hadn't heard of Long Taoist before. Just as he was about to extend his divine thought to check the depth of the burly bearded man, Buzz, his divine thought hadn't even reached the other side. It seemed to crash into a towering mountain, leaving him stunned. Qin Ming inwardly sneered, then slightly twisted his divine thought, immediately cutting off Guan Mo's divine thought. Inside Guan Mo's sea of consciousness, an intense, heart-rending pain erupted, causing him to hold his head with his right hand, almost losing his footing. He looked at the burly bearded man opposite him, his face pale, showing a scared expression. Who are you, really? Are you sure you want to meddle in our sex affairs? Long Taoist regarded him with indifference, speaking in a gruff voice. I'll give you 3 breaths to disappear before me, or I'll break your legs. Anyway, it was under the guise. Any trouble would be Elder Long's to bear. Qin Ming didn't mind at all. At this moment, one could say he was extremely arrogant. Usually, the cultivators from the Spirit Sword Mountain prided themselves as superior. How could they bear such humiliation? Instantly, Guan Mo's disciples were filled with righteous indignation, as if facing a formidable enemy, each brandishing their magical artifacts. Hold it! We're leaving! Guan Mo, enduring the pain, gritted his teeth and stopped his disciples, gave a deep look at Long Taoist, not daring to speak further, and then slunk away quickly. Hiss! The onlookers nearby were also shocked, sucking in a breath of cold air. Who is this burly man? That Jin country's mid-stage foundation establishment from Spirit Sword Mountain. Didn't even dare to say a word before running. Weren't they acting almighty just now? Fellow Taoist Long, this burly man, could he be the legendary cultivator of the Wei country, Long Taoist? The one who defeated Ling Hu Yang at Forbidden Ridge with one move? If he could easily force a mid-stage foundation establishment cultivator to retreat, it should be him. Never thought I'd get to see one of the top 3 great powers on the foundation establishment list in the Wei country's cultivation realm in my lifetime. It's worth the trip. Elder Long. Greetings, Elder Long. Fellow Taoist Long. Your esteemed name precedes you. For a moment, cultivators around greeted Qin Ming with respect and enthusiasm. Within the Feng family's courtyard, Feng Sihai respectfully brewed spirit tea for Qin Ming. Today, if not for Elder Long's aid, this junior wouldn't have known what to do. No worries. I had promised the Feng brothers to look after you a bit. Qin Ming replied nonchalantly as he felt a mysterious sensation from the copper mirror he had just taken. He was even more convinced it wasn't an ordinary object. It seems over the years, under your leadership, the Feng family has developed quite well. It's entirely due to Elder Long's care that the Feng family has achieved its current status. Please allow me to bow to Elder Long. Feng Sihai expressed his genuine gratitude. With that said, he was about to bow. Qin Ming casually lifted him up. No need, it's just a coincidence that I'm here, and decided to drop by for a look. As he played with the copper mirror in his hand, he asked Feng Sihai, Do you truly wish to give this to me? You should know its value. Huh, I sincerely do. If not for Elder Long's intervention today, it might have been taken by those cultivators from the Spirit Sword Mountain. Feng Sihai replied with a smile. Qin Ming then put away the copper mirror, giving Feng Sihai a once-over. Over the years, apart from making talismans, it seems you haven't neglected your cultivation, just a step away from Qi cultivation perfection. Elder Long's insight is indeed sharp. This junior's meager cultivation is hardly worth mentioning. Feng Sihai replied modestly. Qin Ming pondered briefly and then took out a delicate jade bottle from his storage pouch, placing it in front of Feng Sihai. Back then, after our exchange of that spiritual object, I promised that when the Feng family produced a perfection cultivator, I would grant a fortune to your family. Along with today's offering, you've given me another treasure, so I'll grant it to you earlier than promised. Hearing this, Feng Sihai showed a puzzled expression. He thought Elder Long's promise from that day was merely a polite remark, never expecting it to be true. He cautiously opened the jade bottle, and an exotic pill fragrance immediately wafted out, captivating one's heart and mind. Swallowing a gulp, Feng Sihai peered inside, seeing a bright blue spirit pill lying within, enveloped in an astonishing pill essence. Foundation Establishment Pill. Even as the head of the family, having witnessed various large and small occasions, seeing the Foundation Establishment Pill, which every Qi cultivation stage cultivator yearned for, broke the composed demeanor of the seasoned Feng Sihai. Stunned, Feng Sihai looked at Qin Ming in disbelief, stammering, Elder Long. This, take it. It's a fair transaction. I don't like taking advantage of others. Qin Ming said in an even tone, his appearance that of a robust, bearded man. Overwhelmed, Feng Sihai even pinched himself secretly, suspecting he might be dreaming. Finally confirming everything before him was real. Feng Sihai was overjoyed. Words eluded him in that moment. Qin Ming continued, "From here on, it's best you cultivate on your own until reaching qi cultivation perfection. Avoid using tear-breaking pills. After honing your mana at perfection, when your mana's purity is high, then consume the foundation establishment pill. Your chance of successfully breaking through will then be greater." This junior will remember Elder Long's teachings. The immense kindness and virtue Elder Long have shown to the Feng family cannot be repaid. If there are ever any tasks in the future, I will not hesitate to take them at the cost of my life. Feng Sihai, trembling, said as he stored away the foundation establishment pill. This foundation establishment pill, indeed, marks a fortune for the Feng family, coveted by countless cultivators who strive their whole lives in search of it. A resource monopolized by major sects, impossible for these grassroots cultivators to acquire, even with spirit stones. Forget it. If you truly achieve foundation establishment, it will bring peace to the departed souls of Feng Yuan and his brother. As for the future, I may not visit the Immortal City again. The road ahead is for you to find your own fate, Qin Ming said, his words sparing, emphasizing that his relationship with the Feng family was purely transactional, not meant for deeper ties. He had kept his promise to Feng Yuan, and his conscience was clear. After chatting briefly with Feng Sihai, Qin Ming left the Feng family. Master, this qi cultivation novice's fortune is quite extraordinary. The heaven-devouring rat communicated to Qin Ming from the spirit beast bag. To think they even received a foundation establishment pill personally made by you. However, after some research, this copper mirror seems to have an impressive origin, with an ancient restriction applied inside. Can you unravel it? Qin Ming's interest was piqued. A piece of cake, give me 2 days. Just as Qin Ming stepped out of the alley, he saw someone approaching from the opposite side. It was none other than Luvu Wanjun. She gracefully came forward and greeted him, saying, "Greetings, Elder Long. The Lord City Lord requests your presence." Qin Ming thought to himself, it must be about the incident outside the shop today, plus the appearance of the legendary cultivator Long Daoist, which had already reached the upper echelons of vast sea Immortal City, and they had come looking for him so quickly. "All right, lead the way." Qin Ming, disguised as a burly man with a full beard, replied in a muffled voice, not bothering to evade the invitation. He had timely delivered the messages from within the Beast Roar Mountain range, which was a great contribution, and he thought the higher-ups would not make things difficult for him. It was Old Wanjuan's first time dealing with a renowned cultivator from Wei Country, so she couldn't help but feel a bit tense. Moments later, Luvu Wanjun used the teleportation function of the Immortal City Array to bring Qin Ming to the front of the Grand Hall atop Vast Sea Peak. Upon entering the Grand Hall, Qin Ming noticed that besides Master Vast Sea Nalan, she at the top seat, there were 4 other deeply cultivated Golden Core ancestors and several Fake Pill ancestors. Wei Wuya was not present, likely having returned to the Thunder Origin Sect. The attendees were probably all the elites from the other 4 countries' sects who came to support Vast Sea Immortal City. Even though the elders had deliberately concealed their auras, the entire hall still emitted a huge spiritual pressure. A normal low-tier cultivator would hardly be able to stand steadily in such a scene. Luvu Wanjun led Qin Ming in, feeling extremely cautious, and reported to Master Vasi Nalan, she at the forefront. "Lord City Lord, Elder Long has arrived. You may leave now." Nalan Shi's voice, calm yet authoritative, echoed. Then, Qin Ming was left alone in the middle of the Grand Hall, with the gaze of all the elders focused on him. Qin Ming remained unfazed, for the concealing breath effect of the withered wood technique from the ancient wood longevity technique was extremely powerful. Unless one was at the late-stage golden core, they couldn't detect anything. Moreover, Long Daoist was known for his prowess as a body cultivator and had only ever displayed his body refining technique, while other details about him were unknown to the outside world. Simultaneously, Qin Ming noticed among the elders a fake pill ancestor from Jin country's Spirit Sword Mountain, a short and stout old man. The elder was squinting at him, and Qin Ming could feel several divine thoughts from the Spirit Sword Mountain's fake pill ancestor repeatedly probing him. It seemed that the incident at the Feng family's talisman shop had also reached this fake pill ancestor's ears. Qin Ming kept a steady gaze, not overly concerned with Spirit Sword Mountain. Nowadays, only a golden core ancestor could pose any significant threat to him. In the main seat atop the Grand Hall, Nailan also cast an eye on Long Daoist. Despite his unimpressive mana cultivation, his mastery in body refining technique was at its pinnacle, resembling a humanoid fierce beast. The other elders present also showed expressions of astonishment as they looked upon him. "I am Long Daoist. A pleasure to meet Master Vast C and all the seniors here." Qin Ming greeted the elders with neither humility nor arrogance. Even amidst such spiritual pressure, Qin Ming relied on his powerful qi blood power to effortlessly dissolve the pressure from the Golden Core ancestors. He felt virtually no pressure at all. He speculated that Master Vast C had summoned him just to ask some questions. As he expected, Nailan Shi's next words confirmed Qin Ming's assumption. "Friend Long, your reputation is well-deserved. Your mastery in body refining technique is unparalleled. Please have a seat." Nailan Shi then instructed someone to serve spirit tea. Qin Ming, upon hearing this, found a chair nearby to sit in, and Nailan Shi continued to ask. "Speaking of which, we were able to react promptly to the significant upheaval in the Beast Roar Mountain range and the emergence of such a formidable creature as the cyan-faced poison flood dragon king. Thanks to the timely information provided by Friend Long. Could you inform us exactly how you managed to acquire such confidential and detailed information about the demon race's internals?" Qin Ming had anticipated Nailan Shi would ask this and had already prepared a response, so he calmly replied, "I happened to come across this information while searching for spiritual materials during one of my incursions into the Beast Roar Mountain range. I encountered and defeated a Tier 2 perfection demon beast, and learned of this through a soul search. Preferring to remain low-key, I quickly had Alliance Leader Lim relay the message to Elder Nailan. When Qin Ming mentioned defeating a Tier 2 perfection demon beast, he spoke as if it was merely a trivial matter. The Golden Core ancestors present continued unconcerned, but the fake pill ancestors turned pale, instinctively appearing unsure. Some Tier 2 perfection-level demon beasts possess cultivation and divine abilities not much weaker than regular human race Golden Core ancestors. For instance, the double-pupil demon ape previously could battle 2 fake pill ancestors and even severely injure Master Vasi's Tier 3 spirit turtle. This highlights the enormous strength gap brought by bloodline differences. None of the present fake pill ancestors could claim to easily solo a Tier 2 perfection great demon. Thus, some of the fake pill ancestors remained skeptical about Long Daoist's claim. Though Long Daoist could defeat Duguyang and rank among the top 3 on Wei Country's foundation establishment list, he was still merely a foundation establishment cultivator. Noticing the elders' disbelief, Qin Ming produced a spherical object from his storage pouch and displayed it to everyone. Tier 2 Perfection Thunder Attribute Demon Pill. Nailan Shi raised an eyebrow and commented. This thoroughly dispelled the gathered cultivators' doubts. Qin Ming put away the demon pill, an incredibly precious Tier 2 Perfection-level demon pill, especially one with a thunder attribute. The Golden Core ancestors, seeing the displayed demon pill, were quite covetous, many already considering what spiritual objects they might exchange it with afterward. The information Friend Long provided was critically important. Without it, the consequences would have been unimaginable. We should record a great merit for you. Haha, there's no need for great merit. It was merely a part of my duty concerning the safety of the entire Southern Wilderness Cultivation Realm. Then, Master Vasi took the opportunity to draw him into the Immortal City, offering numerous generous conditions. For a powerful cultivator like Long Daoist, various forces would eagerly compete to have him as a guest. Qin Ming, of course, declined Nalan Shi, politely refusing her invitation. Moving on, seeing his disinterest in joining the Immortal City, Master Vasi made no further demands, and after publicly asking a few more questions, she announced the meeting adjourned. However, just then, the short and stout fake pill ancestor from Spirit Sword Mountain suddenly stood up and called out to Long Daoist. "Wait, I've heard that friend Long caused embarrassment to my sect's disciples within the Immortal City. Is that true?" All the cultivators present were momentarily taken aback by this statement. "Chu Qianhe, have you lost your mind? Friend Long accomplished a significant deed, while your unskilled disciples were merely taught a lesson. Who's to blame?" This was asked by Elder Wan from Liang Country's Profound Creek Valley, frowning. The short and stout fake pill ancestor from Spirit Sword Mountain was indeed named Chu Tianhe. He dared not act rashly after Elder Wan spoke, but continued. "Teaching my disciples a lesson is one matter, but this concerns Spirit Sword Mountain's reputation, and I can't let it go so easily. It's said that friend Long possesses the strength to slay a Tier 2 perfection level character. Today, I would like to personally have a bout with you. Would friend Long accept this challenge?" Inside the main hall, when Chu Tianhe asked Qin Ming this question, the hall fell into silence. This time, the other ancestors didn't come over to dissuade them, because they also wanted to see whether this legendary cultivator from Wei Country was as strong as the rumors said. Friend Long frowned when he heard the battle invitation from the ancestor of Spirit Sword Mountain and replied in a muffled voice, "Since Elder Chu is interested in finding face for his disciple, I'm willing to indulge you for a bit." At this moment, Nalan Shi also spoke. "Since both of you agreed to resolve your conflict through a duel, with the beast catastrophe at hand, the duel should only go as far as necessary and definitely not endanger lives. Let me serve as the witness." Nalan Shi, seeing that Long Daoist had a forthright personality, was upright and strong, grew fond of him. Although she failed to recruit him, she didn't want anything to happen to him in the Immortal City. After some thought, she secretly transmitted to Qin Ming, "Friend Long, this Chu Tianhe from Spirit Sword Mountain is not the same as those ordinary fake pill cultivators that Dugi Yang defeated. As the ancestor of Spirit Sword Mountain, he can not only exhibit 70% of a golden core cultivator's power, but has also perfected the Sword Dao divine technique of Spirit Sword Mountain. If you're not confident, consider it carefully." Upon hearing this, Qin Ming cast a grateful glance towards Master Nalan Shi, yet his expression remained calm and composed, showing no sign of retreating. Seeing that friend Long agreed, Chu Tianhe from Spirit Sword Mountain had a cunning gleam in his eyes and said, "Since it's a duel, let's add a stake. If you, friend Long, lose, your Thunder Attribute Demon Pill will belong to me." As soon as these words were spoken, several Golden Core ancestors around silently cursed him for being shameless. So, it turns out this old codger had his eye on the Tier 2 Perfection Demon Pill Long Daoist possesses. Upon hearing this, Qin Ming sneered inwardly. Then he also asked, "Since Elder Chu has eyes on my Demon Pill, I wonder what you will stake? As long as it matches the value of this Tier 2 Perfection Thunder Attribute Demon Pill, whether it's spirit stones, cultivation techniques, spiritual materials, talismans, or pills, you can make a demand. As the master of a sect, such things are trifles I can't afford," Chu Tianhe said with a forced smile. He never considered the possibility of losing. Chu Tianhe was extremely confident in his strength, believing he could easily defeat Long Daoist, even though he was a body cultivator. Hearing the offer of choosing any spiritual materials, Qin Ming couldn't help but laugh inwardly and promptly nodded in agreement. Subsequently, everyone left the main hall. The duel was set on a vacant tract beside Vast Sea Peak. On hearing about a fake pill-level duel, the nearby cultivators hurried over to witness the spectacle. A fake pill ancestor already belongs among the truly top-tier cultivators in the Southern Wilderness Cultivation Realm. To To witness such a grand event firsthand would provide ample topics for conversation over tea and meals. What? Chu Tianhe, the ancestor from Spirit Sword Mountain in Jin Country, challenged the legendary cultivator Long Daoist from Wei Country. Isn't this a blatant case of the strong bullying the weak? Haha, that Long Daoist from Wei Country is bound to lose. Our sect's elder, Chu, recently comprehended the Jingzhe sword intent, unmatched below the golden core. Quick, the duel is about to start. This is surely a battle for the ages. I still bet Long Daoist will win. On the side peak, a crowd gathered as a group of cultivators rushed over on hearing the news. Of course, the cultivators who came to watch were either qualified to reside in the core area or were renting cave mansions on Vassi Peak, each with a background not to be underestimated. Since both parties are ready, let the duel begin. Nailin, she immediately announced, then waved her hand, setting up a protective barrier centered on the two of them. The onlooking cultivators were relieved and stood still to watch, knowing that the barrier set by a golden core ancestor couldn't be broken by the two inside. Chu Tianhe from Spirit Sword Mountain flew into the arena, his aura surging, fully releasing his fake pill realm cultivation. Hiv. Who would have thought this kid actually dared to accept the duel invitation? Seems like he's overconfident in his strength. Thinks that just because he managed to kill a tier 2 perfection demon beast by luck, he can challenge the fake pill level. It's a pity old man isn't an easy target. Ignorant youngster, daring to challenge the prestige of Spirit Sword Mountain, must teach him a lifelong, unforgettable lesson. As soon as Nailin, she finished speaking, Chu Tianhe's gaze turned sharp, as even when facing a foundation establishment cultivator like Long Daoist, he had no intention of holding back. I've heard that Friend Long's body refining technique is quite formidable. Today we'll see whether my sword is indeed unbreakable or if your physique is superior. The burly man transformed by Qin Ming showed no fear, chuckling heartily and said, "Hee. I'd also like to experience Elder Chu's exquisite sword techniques. However, as a mere brute, I do not know how to control my strength. Should I injure the elder later, don't blame me." Upon hearing this, Chu Tianhe's expression changed, and he responded coldly, "You certainly have some guts. Enough talk, let our skills do the talking." In the next moment, the short and stout Chu Tianhe moved, forming a sword technique with his right hand, pointing to the sky. Clang! Chu Tianhe's entire aura suddenly changed. A crimson spirit sword emitting terrifying fluctuations flew out, hovering directly above his head. It's actually a top-grade spiritual artifact. Isn't that Neon Sword one of the 12 famous swords of Spirit Sword Mountain? His Elder Chu is getting serious. Boom! Condense. A powerful sword intent burst out around Chu Tianhe, soaring upwards, as if he were becoming one with the neon sword above his head. 100-zhang long neon sword aura rose, seeming to pierce through the sky, radiating a world-destroying mighty force. Swish! Chu Tianhe did not intend to entangle with the junior Qin Ming. Fighting back and forth would make him, the master of his sect, seem incompetent. Therefore, he used his ultimate sword technique from the outset. It was his newly comprehended Jingzhe sword intent. With a slash from his sword technique, the 100-zhang long neon sword aura tore through the void at a devastating speed, slicing towards Qin Ming. Even the cultivators watching from the side were terrified at the sight of such a horrifying sword chi, even more worried for Friend Long opposite. Nailin, she was slightly surprised at this sword, remarking, "To cultivate sword intent to this extent, Chu Tianhe is indeed a pity." With his earth-grade spirit root, if not for his impatience forming only a fake pill, the golden core fellow Taoist would have welcomed another transcendent sword cultivator. She shook her head, looking again at the long Taoist that Qin Ming had transformed into, concluding that he could not withstand Chu Tianhe's sword, preparing to step in and block it. But just as she was about to make her move, she observed the long Taoist with no intention to avoid, deciding to watch a little longer. Even when faced with such a sword technique, Qin Ming showed no fear. His true gang transformation had reached the third transformation, just lacking demon beast essence blood to form the legendary true extreme body. Facing the fake pill realm, Chu Tianhe at this moment was still quite manageable. While everyone was still immersed in the breathtaking sword technique of Spirit Sword Mountain's Elder Chu. Suddenly, a towering blood-colored four-armed demon ape phantom appeared on Long Daoist. As the blood-colored demon ape appeared, an aura akin to a primordial giant beast descended. Crack! Under this immense force, even the barrier set by Nalan, she suddenly cracked like glass. Boom! The blood-colored demon ape simultaneously extended its four arms into palms, merging them into one to catch the descending neon sword aura. It astonishingly caught the sword barehanded. How could it be? An expression of disbelief appeared on Chu Tianhe's face. But what shocked him even more was yet to come. The blood-colored demon ape suddenly exerted tremendous force with its four arms. Crack! The 100-zhong long neon sword aura was instantly shattered by the demon ape's mighty strength, dispersing into countless sparks into the air. Clang! The neon spirit sword lost control, seized by the blood-colored demon ape, and casually captured by Qin Ming. Chu Tianhe, caught off guard by this move and losing connection with his spirit sword, spat out a mouthful of blood, and while he was still in a daze, the blood-colored demon ape clenched its 5 fingers into a fist, spanning hundreds of zhongs, punching towards him. A massive blood-colored fist shadow instantly completely locked onto Chu Tianhe's every move, filled with an oppressive force that sent chills down his spine. Even his most proud Jingzha sword intent couldn't withstand the blood-colored demon ape strike and shattered in an instant. What kind of terrifying body-refining technique is this? The cultivators watching were also dumbfounded by Qin Ming's strike. They hurried to duck and flee, as being caught in the wave of the strike would cost them half their lives, if not more. In front of the mountain-sized blood-colored fish shadow, Chu Tianhe was like a mere ant. Boom! The fist shadow landed, and a violently loud collision erupted atop the mountain peak. A strong shockwave spread outwards in all directions. The dust dispersed, and when everyone came to their senses, they found that the earth-shattering punch thrown by the burly man-long Daoist had been effortlessly blocked by Master Nalan, she, with a golden treasure tower. Friend Long, the outcome is decided. Let's conclude here. Nalan, she was also extremely surprised, having not expected Long Daoist's strength to be so formidable. Even Chu Tianhe could not match him. Originally, she had intended to help Long Daoist, but the situation took a sharp turn, turning into saving Chu Tianhe. Just as he himself admitted, he doesn't know how to hold back, truly a reckless man. If that punch landed on Chu Tianhe, he would be seriously wounded if not dead. Qin Ming withdrew the true Qi blood spirit from his body, descended rapidly, and clasped his hands towards Chu Tianhe opposite him. I concede. Chu Tianhe's face flushed red, and then pale. He very well knew that without Master Nalan Shi's intervention, he wouldn't be able to withstand such a powerful punch. He had originally thought his sword Dao Divine technique had greatly improved, wanting to defend the Sect's reputation and gain a Tier 2 Perfection Demon Pill in the process. But who could have thought Long Daoist's body refining technique would be so terrifying, able to crush his sword technique barehanded? Is this person even human? Ahem. Fellow Daoist Long's divine techniques are indeed formidable. This old man concedes in defeat. Anyone with eyes could see who is stronger. Chu Tianhe admitted defeat simply without delusions. The other 4 Golden Core ancestors also looked at Long Daoist with a very surprised expression. Additionally, Qin Ming had also exchanged blows with Master Vasi Nalan Shi earlier, but realized he still had quite a gap between himself and those of the Golden Core stage. There is an insurmountable chasm between the Golden Core stage and Foundation Establishment stage, 2 entirely different realms of power. No matter how strong the Foundation Establishment stage gets, it's worthless before a Golden Core ancestor. Fake pill ancestors can show a bit of Golden Core power, but are still nowhere near the same level. Unless Qin Ming could completely master the third transformation of True Gang, achieving a breakthrough in physical essence, he would still not stand a chance against a Golden Core ancestor. At this moment, wow, the surrounding cultivators erupted into exclamations. Unbelievable! Long Daoist has defeated the fake pill ancestor of Spirit Sword Mountain. So strong. To catch a spiritual artifact with bare hands, is this what a body cultivator does? After this battle, the Foundation establishment list of Wei country will definitely change again. That's right, Elder Chu isn't an ordinary fake pill holder. Defeating him means Long Daoist can surely surpass Tongshan ranked 2nd and Xiang Ziho of Divine Herbal Sect ranked 1st. Who would have thought? The match was decided with just one move. Long Daoist's strength is evident. It's my first time seeing such monstrous chi blood power from a cultivator. Long Daoist's name will surely echo throughout the Wei country cultivation realm again, or perhaps all the 3 kingdoms will come to know his fame. The surrounding cultivators discussed amongst themselves, but under Master Vassi's orders, they dared not linger, quickly dispersing. Chu Qianhe wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth, consumed a pill, and regained much of his vitality. After that, he awkwardly said to Qin Ming, "Friend Long, could you return the neon sword to this old man?" "Oh, isn't that considered as part of the spoils?" Qin Ming, who transformed into Long Daoist, replied gruffly. "Before the duel began, didn't we agree to put up some extra stakes?" Chu Qianhe was stunned for a moment, then hurriedly said, "This sword is one of the 12 great swords of our sect. This old man cannot use it as a wager." Qin Ming pondered for a moment and asked, "Then what will Elder Chu exchange to take back the spirit sword?" Upon hearing this, Chu Qianhe gave a bitter smile, took out a few items from his storage pouch, and displayed them in front of Qin Ming. "Friend Long can choose any item from these. None are inferior to a Tier 2 Perfection Demon Pill. See if anything catches your fancy." Qin Ming focused his eyes, seeing the items Chu Qianhe listed, each a rare treasure in the cultivation realm. Tier 2 High-Grade Spirit Pill, Top-Tier Cultivation Technique, Tier 2 Top-Grade Spiritual Materials. All these were present. Qin Ming looked at these items, momentarily indecisive. "Choose that black stone." Just then, the heaven-devouring rat in the spirit beast bag transmitted to Qin Ming. Upon hearing this, Qin Ming no longer hesitated, reached out, and plucked the black stone from among the items. To think you chose the Tier 2 Profound Netherine Stone." Chu Qianhe thought he would suffer a great loss, but was surprised once again. This lifted his previously low spirits somewhat. Following that, Qin Ming took out the top-grade spiritual artifact Neon Sword from his storage pouch, gently caressing the blade while observing it closely, reluctantly saying, "What a fine sword." However, he couldn't covet the Sect treasure of Spirit Sword Mountain while under everyone's eyes and tossed the Neon Sword back to Chu Qianhe. Then he secretly transmitted a message to the heaven-devouring rat. "Why did you make me choose that black stone? It looks pretty ordinary." The heaven-devouring rat chuckled and replied, "That black stone is naturally ordinary, but it holds mysteries inside. This place is not convenient for inspection. The master can find a place to investigate it further. I sense something good hidden within the stone, although I'm not clear on the specifics." "Are you sure?" "Yes, absolutely." Hearing the heaven-devouring rat say this, Qin Ming felt at ease, trusting its innate treasure-seeking divine techniques, presumably not making a mistake in judgment. Next, the incident thus came to an end. Long Daoist bid farewell to Master Nalan, she before leaving vast Sea Peak. This time, Spirit Sword Mountain of Jin Country not only failed to regain ground, but also lost quite the face. Only one day had passed when Guan Mo, a Foundation establishment mid-stage disciple from Spirit Sword Mountain, brought the Sect disciples to the inn where Qin Ming was to apologize. "Friend Long, it was my fault earlier. I hope you can overlook things and forgive me." Guan Mo returned home and was harshly reprimanded by his Sect's Elder Chu, who vented his anger from losing to Qin Ming on him. At this moment, he regretted his previous actions deeply. Isn't it just an artifact fragment? not a true artifact. Qin Ming didn't trouble Guan Mo further and dismissed him effortlessly. Inside the in-room, Qin Ming raised his hand to create an isolating restriction, then took out the profound netherstone. This tier 2 high-grade profound netherstone spirit, or was something Qin Ming learned about after researching it. It could be used to forge attribute high-grade spiritual artifacts, though this piece clearly doesn't weigh enough. He released his divine thought, probing into the stone's interior, only to find the spirit or containing profound power absorbing the emitted divine thought, rendering the interior completely obscure. If there's nothing inside, you'll be farming for 10 years. Then Qin Ming's gaze sharpened, exerting force with his hand. The entire profound netherstone crumbled into a pile of black powder. Suddenly, a ray of black light fell from within. Qin Ming's gaze pierced sharply, swiftly raising a hand to capture the black light. He stared intently at it, seeing a pitch-black fruit pit lying in his palm, emitting an icy cold, extremely power. This black seed resembles a spirit jujube. Aside from the extremely power, it also emanates an astonishing amount of spiritual qi. Qin Ming carefully held and observed it in his hand for a long time. Suddenly a name of a spirit plant flashed in his mind. Fengyu Ghost Jujube. I didn't expect it to be this item. Ha ha ha. A joyful expression appeared on Qin Ming's face. How is it, Master? Didn't I tell you correctly? There's really something good inside. But what is this Fengyu Ghost Jujube? Even the heaven-devouring rat was surprised to see Qin Ming so happy, quickly seeking credit from him, hoping that in his happiness, he would reward it with a spirit-transforming demon fruit. In that case, it would be one step closer to fully restoring its cultivation. The Fengyu Ghost Jujube is a tier 2 top-grade spirit plant, considered a supreme treasure by ghost beings and ghost cultivators, akin to a foundation establishment pill for human race cultivators. Qin Ming said slowly. Even the heaven-devouring rat didn't expect such a seemingly insignificant spirit plant to have such a significant background, actually capable of greatly enhancing the cultivation of ghost cultivators and ghost beings. Congratulations to Master for obtaining the treasure. But as good as this item is, its effect on cultivators isn't as great as it is on ghost cultivators, right? Upon hearing this, Qin Ming said, it may not be of use to others, but for me, he did not continue, leaving the heaven-devouring rat in a state of confusion. Qin Ming did not continue because it involved a secret technique from the primordial evil seed demon scripture, known as the planting evil technique. This technique requires using the corpse of a ghost spirit body as fertilizer. Once the Fengyu Ghost Jujube is planted, it can gather and condense the evil qi within. When the Fengyu Ghost Jujube matures, several drops of profound evil spirit liquid can be condensed inside the tree core. And this profound evil spirit liquid is one of the rare core formation spiritual objects that cultivators need when advancing to the golden core stage. It can increase the probability of forming a core by 15%. At the thought of this item, Qin Ming's heart spirit was filled with excitement. As for the corpse of a ghost spirit body, although difficult to find, it should still be obtainable. Qin Ming took out a wooden box to store the seed of the Fengyu Ghost Jujube. Afterward, he said to the heaven-devouring rat, "You did well on this matter. You deserve credit." "Thank you, Master, for the praise." Then, the spirit-transforming demon fruit. The heaven-devouring rat was so happy that its tail was almost wagging to the sky upon hearing these words. Qin Ming knew exactly what it was thinking. Therefore, he immediately changed the subject and asked, "By the way, have you managed to decipher that artifact fragment?" I was just about to tell you. After working tirelessly day and night, I've erased the restriction on the fragment. But the contents inside were somewhat unexpected for me. With that, the heaven-devouring rat handed the copper mirror back to Qin Ming. Qin Ming took the copper mirror and looked at it. After removing the restriction, a sheer piece as thin as a cicada's wing was revealed inside, recording a highly advanced artifact's embryo sacrificial refining method. Unfortunately, half is missing. The other half must be contained in a separate piece of copper mirror. Stumbling upon half of the copper mirror is already incredibly lucky. Searching for the other half would be like looking for a needle in a haystack, wouldn't it? Looking at the secret technique. To say he wasn't tempted would be a lie. He had just refreshed the spirit plant seed treasure entry, perfectly able to refine the void bamboo, which has already developed spirituality, into an artifact embryo and use the entry to plant it into the life-bound spirit plant yin yang profound vine. That would be an artifact. Missing the other half of the copper mirror, Qin Ming can only try to search for it, not daring to say with certainty that he'll find it. He'll have to rely on luck. The following day, Qin Ming left the inn and restored his original appearance in an isolated spot, then headed towards the Pill Furnace Pavilion in the core area. Along the way, his ears were filled with the shocking battle achievements of Long Daoist from yesterday, making this legendary cultivator of the Wei country's Cultivation Realm even more renowned. From small street stalls to large tea houses and taverns, this topic was being discussed everywhere. Even the Foundation establishment list at the gate of Vassi Immortal City had already updated the strength ranking of the Wei Country Foundation establishment cultivators. The name Long Daoist prominently topped the list. Qin Ming could only smile helplessly. After half a cup of tea, he arrived at the Pill Furnace Pavilion and stepped inside. The moment he entered the hall, he encountered an old acquaintance. "Oh, fellow Daoist Qin. Long time no sees. Fellow Daoist Shui. It's been a while." The person who greeted him was none other than the elder of Vassi Immortal City, Shui Zhili. Back then, right after breaking through Foundation establishment, Qin Ming had participated in an exchange meeting organized by Shui Zhili. Later, when leaving the city, he encountered the demonic hero Lin Zixiao ambushing Gul Huai and others. The scenes from back then were quite lamentable for him. "Fellow Daoist Qin has arrived. Truly long time no see. I've missed you dearly." Su Jing had just been conversing with Shui Zhili. Upon seeing Qin Ming, her beautiful eyes glimmered and she greeted him cheerfully. "Hee, what a coincidence today. Just as it happens, I have a matter that fellow Daoist Qin might be interested in," Shui Zhili said with a smile. Qin Ming, surprised, asked, "Oh, could fellow Daoist Shui have organized another exchange meeting?" "He indeed, but this time the exchange meeting is larger in scale. Fellow Daoist Qin, let's discuss it upstairs." Afterward, Su Jing led Qin Ming and Shui Zhili to a private room on the third floor. "Here's the situation. This time the organized exchange meeting is different from the past. The location will be set at the Inch Mountain Market and held under the guise of black market trading," stated Shui Zhili plainly. "I wonder if fellow Daoist Qin is interested in attending?" Qin Ming asked with puzzlement. "Isn't the Inch Mountain Market already occupied by demon beasts?" The demon beasts in that area were cleared by the Immortal City cultivators sent out 2 years ago. However, the market was destroyed and Thunder Origin Sect has no interest in managing it. Gradually, people from all trades and walks have gathered, and now it's become a black market, explained Shui Zhili. Qin Ming understood. He hadn't expected that the Wei country's largest market in the past would one day become a black market. In the black market, it's a mix of good and bad cultivators from all walks of life. In addition to common market items, many shady things can be traded as well, such as items acquired through murder and treasure snatching, and various items of unknown origin. Of course, due to this reason, many items that can't be seen in the common market often appear. After pondering for a while, Qin Ming thought that engaging in black market trading outside wasn't very stable. Moreover, Shui Zhili's arrangements often involved life and death situations. After the last exchange meeting, 3 people died. So, he said to Shui Zhili, "Fellow Daoist Shui, this time I have important matters to attend to, so I cannot participate. Thank you for your kind invitation." Shui Zhili was taken aback by this remark. He hadn't expected Qin Ming to decline. "Fellow Daoist Qin, there will be many good items in this black market trade, and those going with us are elite among Foundation establishment cultivators. Safety shouldn't be a concern. In the private room, Xue Zhili was once again persuading, still hopeful of inviting Qin Ming to join. After all, Qin Ming's current status is vastly different from before. If he attends this black market trade, it will surely attract many people, and it will amplify the fame of his transaction meeting. Qin Ming didn't have much aversion to Xue Zhili. This person is fairly upright and has a wide social circle in the Immortal City. Thus, he frequently invites fellow practitioners to hold small-scale transaction meetings for mutual exchange. Xue Zhili not only gains some benefits from this, but also earns a good reputation. Fellow Taoist Qin, at this transaction meeting, some Tier 2 high-grade spiritual materials will also appear. I can tell you, besides the cultivators from Wei Country, even those from the other 3 kingdoms will participate. Among them are many great cultivators at Foundation Establishment Perfection, holding many fine goods waiting to be traded. Xue Zhili whispered. Hearing this, Qin Ming was momentarily stunned, his interest piqued by the other's words. If that's the case, then perhaps it wouldn't hurt to go and take a look. After all, with his current strength, there are basically no opponents below the Golden Core stage, and he is more than capable of ensuring his safety. After hesitating briefly, he nodded in agreement. Well, if that's the case, I'll see if I can find time to attend. Fellow Taoist Xue, when does the black market trade begin? Seeing Qin Ming agree, Xue Zhili was overjoyed and said, it's in 3 days. He then took out a black profound iron token and handed it to Qin Ming. This is the invitation token. When fellow Taoist Qin arrives at the Inch Mountain Market, just present this token for entry. Qin Ming took the token and nodded slightly. Then, I will eagerly await your honorable presence, fellow Taoist Qin, haha. Xue Zhili's face was filled with smiles, seemingly pleased to have persuaded Qin Ming, his mood quite uplifting. The two chatted for a while longer. Since Xue Zhili had other cultivators to invite, he bid farewell and left the Pill Furnace Pavilion. In the room, only Su Jing and Qin Ming remained. I didn't expect fellow Taoist Qin and fellow Taoist Xue to be old acquaintances. Su Jing poured tea for Qin Ming and said with a cheerful smile. Qin Ming replied, "Ha, we're not very close. I just attended one of fellow Taoist Xue's exchange meetings." Was fellow Taoist Xue here to invite fellow Taoist Su or Elder Su? No, I have to look after the shop and can't leave. Fellow Taoist Xue just came to purchase some pills and spiritual material from the pavilion. Su Jing explained, "My grandfather is also not in the shop as he is busy with the Sect's 10-year recruitment of new disciples. It will start in about a year." "Oh, is this the disciple selection at the Pill Tower that Elder Su mentioned before?" Qin Ming asked, feigning calm. "Yes, exactly." Su Jing smiled subtly without avoiding the topic. Qin Ming listened, feeling a sense of contemplation. He then shifted the topic. "I came this time to purchase some spiritual materials for refining high-tier pills from your pavilion." "That would be wonderful. Which spiritual materials does fellow Taoist Qin seek?" Su Jing smiled warmly. Following that, Qin Ming purchased a batch of spiritual materials at the Pill Furnace Pavilion. After the transaction concluded, he left the pavilion, sent off by Su Jing. With 3 days remaining until the black market trade at Inch Mountain begins, Qin Ming found a random inn to stay in the inner city. During these days, Qin Ming began studying the text on the half-piece of silk from the copper mirror artifact fragment. It introduced several methods for refining artifact embryos of great power. Among them, there were 4 secret techniques for refining top-tier wood attribute artifacts, which intrigued Qin Ming greatly. The first one was called Divine Wood Cauldron, an attack and defense unity capable of absorbing and storing plant essence qi, condensing into a woodwill treasure light, capable of instantly restraining a cultivator's 5 elements dharma power. Once touched by this treasure light, it would sever the connection between the cultivator and their internal mana. Moreover, even more incisive is that the woodwill treasure light can bypass most defense methods. The cultivator, unable to exert mana, becomes like a meat steak, Even with great means, if no mana is employed, it's all for naught. Furthermore, the Divine Wood Cauldron, as a Tier 3 wood attribute treasure, possesses a robust healing effect, able to detoxify, heal injuries, and regenerate blood from bones, and can be used for refining Tier 3 pills. It can be said to be versatile and quite powerful. The second one is called Wood God Ring, a primarily offensive treasure. Once refined to great success, it can condense the surrounding wood spirit chi to form a nearly tangible Tier 3 cyan wood flood dragon, immensely powerful. It's akin to the previously obtained Tier 3 talisman treasure Cyan Dragon Seal by Qin Ming, which also possesses similar attack methods. However, compared to the true treasure Wood God Ring, it's like a minor wizard before a great one. It's not the same level at all. The third wood attribute artifact, named Wood Emperor Nail, is a set of treasures that can be refined up to 81 pieces, with natural restraint against demonic cultivation techniques, ghosts, and unsavored dark arts. But the spiritual materials required for refining this treasure are extremely demanding, hard to find in the Cultivation Realm, needing materials with wood attribute spirituality. However, Qin Ming happens to have one. The fourth artifact is called Life and Death Talisman, requiring even rarer spiritual materials for refining and necessitating cultivators to consume their lifespan during the process. Once refined, it can directly attack and diminish the enemy's lifespan, with strong growth potential, advancing to Time Talisman at the next stage. Qin Ming immersed his heart spirit, reviewing the text on this half-sheet of silk no less than dozens of times. Alas, it's a pity that this half-sheet of silk only contains the artifact introductions, with the most crucial artifact embryonic refining techniques likely on the other half. For such top-tier artifact refining techniques, the predecessor who authored the treasure refining technique must have been quite an outstanding Tier 3 refining grandmaster, or even more advanced. Qin Ming, enchanted by these powerful artifact abilities, found himself yearning. Unfortunately, he could only stare in vain for now. After pondering for a while, he stored away the silk and got up to leave the inn. Qin Ming followed the main road, taking several turns before arriving at the Mirror Snow Pavilion. Fellow Taoist Qin, you're still in the Immortal City? Guqin Zhao was quite surprised to see him appear again. Qin Ming smiled slightly. Haha, I have some unfinished business and might need a trouble fellow Taoist go with something. No need for formalities, fellow Taoist Qin. Let's discuss upstairs. Guqin Zhao was quite eager for Qin Ming to seek her help. Moments later, by the window in the room, sandalwood incense curled up. Guqin Zhao personally served spirit tea to fellow Taoist Qin and asked with a subtle smile, "What does fellow Taoist Qin need my assistance with?" Upon hearing this, Qin Ming retrieved the half-piece of the copper mirror fragment from his storage pouch and handed it to Guqin Zhao, then said, "I would like to entrust fellow Taoist Gu to secretly help find the other half of this object. As for the reward, if you can find it, I am willing to pay 1 high-grade Foundation Establishment pill and 1 high-grade Profound Jade pill." Upon hearing that Qin Ming was willing to pay with a high-grade Foundation Establishment pill and Jade Profound pill, Guqin Zhao was quite astonished. Her brows furrowed slightly as she reached out to take the copper mirror fragment. It's actually an artifact fragment. Guqin Zhao's eyes showed a look of surprise, and after carefully observing it for a while, she hesitated before asking, "Is this not the half-piece of the copper mirror fragment that caused a stir in the Immortal City a few days ago? Rumor has it that Long Taoist took it away. So how did it end up in fellow Taoist Qin's hands?" "Yes, that's right. I also got it from fellow Taoist Long. He came to me for alchemy and used this artifact fragment as payment," Qin Ming said without batting an eye. Guqin Zhao gently nodded. "No wonder. It's just that, even if you find the other half of the copper mirror fragment, fellow Taoist Qin might not be able to repair it into a genuine artifact. After all, the restrictions within it have been completely destroyed. I fear that even if a Tier 3 refining Grandmaster took action, they might not be able to repair it, let alone, within the Wei country, there isn't even a Tier 3 refining Grandmaster." The price fellow Taoist Qin paid this time seems somewhat not worth it. It's okay, I'm just interested in it. I don't expect it to be fully repaired, Qin Ming said. All right then, I will secretly have people keep an eye out for it. Qin Zhao immediately took out a memory wall and copied both sides of the copper mirror. Then she returned the copper mirror to Qin Ming. Since fellow Taoist Qin is here, why not stay a few more days? Qin Zhao suggested to stay. Qin Ming smiled slightly. I've promised Shui Zhili to attend the black market trade in Inch Mountain. Oh, so that's the case. I've heard about the Inch Mountain affair too. If I weren't so tied up, even I would like to see it, since it said cultivators from all 4 countries have come, Qin Zhao said enlighteningly. Afterward, Qin Ming and Qin Zhao engaged in a deep conversation and then left the Mirror Snow Pavilion. 3 days passed. Qin Ming left the vast sea immortal city, first exchanging his 3-headed spirit beast for a newly bought Tier 2 high-grade spirit beast bag. Then he rode on the silver-winged frostbee and headed for Inch Mountain Market. Oh, that's more like it. It's much more spacious than before and much more comfortable. The voice of the heaven-devouring rat came from within the new spirit beast bag. An hour and more later, Qin Ming, riding the silver-winged frostbee, arrived near Inch Mountain Market. He put away his spirit pet, then flew down. This time Qin Ming did not disguise himself. Instead, he appeared as he was. After all, he was invited by Shui Zhili, so no need to conceal too much. He arrived at the entrance of Inch Mountain and looked at the market, which had greatly changed, and sighed with emotion. All the buildings and collapsed ruins had been cleared and rebuilt. It did not have the grandeur it had when managed by the Thunder Origin Sect. They were just temporary, simple shacks with scattered stalls. And the array surrounding the market was replaced with a Tier 2 middle-grade array. Its defensive capability was okay. Today, due to the holding of the black market trade, more cultivators came to the market, with cultivators of all kinds arriving. Various colored escape lights landed outside the market. Inside the market was bustling with traffic, and there was a long queue of cultivators outside the market. Nearby, cultivators, seeing a foundation establishment cultivator coming, all conscientiously made way. In the cultivation realm, hierarchy is strict, and now since this place has become a lawless area, if you're not careful, you might anger a foundation establishment great cultivator and not know how you died. Qin Ming took no courtesy, stepping directly into the market. According to the address Shui Zhili had previously told him, he came to where the Thunder Origin Sect used to have the Cloud Fire Pavilion. The place had changed over the years. The luxurious pavilion had disappeared, replaced by an artifact refining shop. Qin Ming directly stepped into the shop, and then came to the courtyard behind. Just as he entered, he saw 2 guarding cultivators stationed there. Qin Ming quickly checked their cultivation, and was surprised to find that both were mid-stage foundation establishment cultivators. It seems Shui Zhili has really spared no expense this time. Even the outside guides were of such cultivation level. Fellow Taoist, do you have an invitation token? One of the guards asked politely. Upon hearing this, Qin Ming immediately took out the black profound iron token given by Shui Zhili from the storage pouch and handed it to him. After verifying the token, the 2 guards again politely said to Qin Ming, "Please come in, fellow Taoist." Then one of the cultivators led Qin Ming into a room. He then cast several spells toward the ground. Rumble. Instantly, a passage large enough for 2 people appeared on the ground. Qin Ming looked at this scene, a bit speechless. Unexpectedly, the place for the black market trade was set up so discreetly in such a place. The guard led the way ahead, and after passing through a long tunnel, Qin Ming's eyes suddenly brightened. A massive underground trading market appeared in his view, like a small underground city. Decorated luxuriously, no less than outside. The dome was illuminated by countless glowing gems, brightly lit inside. Qin Ming took a cursory glance. There were already over 100 foundation establishment cultivators here, each setting up stalls, displaying their trade items. He just released his divine thought for a glance, and knew the cultivation of these cultivators. Most were at the early stage foundation establishment stage, fewer at the middle stage, only about a dozen. 7 or 8 at the late-stage Foundation Establishment, and 3 at Foundation Establishment Perfection. It seems Shui Zhili has put quite an effort this time, managing to gather so many Foundation Establishment cultivators at once. I reckon it's also related to the Beast Tide outbreak, with many cultivators coming to the vast sea Immortal City. However, what surprised him more was that the underground market seemed to be enveloped by a rather sophisticated array. Even Qin Ming's divine thought, comparable to the Golden Core stage, was bounced back. Yo, fellow Taoist Qin is here. Shui Zhili, as the host today, wore a white robe with gold silk and big red brocade, looking very festive. Seeing Qin Ming, he hurried to greet him. As soon as he said this, nearby cultivators all came to greet. Hello, fellow Taoist Qin. I didn't expect even Master Qin to come. Wondering if Master Qin has any high-tier spirit plants or spirit pills for sale. I've long heard of fellow Taoist Qin's fame in Wei country. With fellow Taoist Qin here, naturally, there won't be a shortage of good items. Fellow Taoist Shui must be really capable to have invited fellow Taoist Qin. Fellow Taoist Qin, are you still selling spirit nesting rice? This old man wants to acquire some. For a while, many cultivators gathered around, warmly greeting him and saying some complimentary and polite words. There were also some cultivators from other countries whose attitude toward Qin Ming was lukewarm. After all, his reputation elsewhere wasn't as prominent as in the Wei country. Fellow Taoist Qin, you can stroll around for a while, or if you're interested, set up a stall. I'm sure many cultivators would be willing to trade with you, Shui Zhili said with a smile. Later, we will have an auction trade. If you need, this old man can also bid on your behalf. I only charge a 10% commission. Qin Ming nodded, then took out a bottle of Jade Profound Pill and a 5 Elements Primordial Spirit Peach, and handed them to him. After all, Shui Zhili worked hard to organize such a big event. It wouldn't be fair to do it for free. Making some profit is understandable. This. Shui Zhili received the items from Qin Ming. His voice trembled, and he was almost too excited to speak. It was also the first time he saw such legendary items. Jade Profound Pill, 5 Elements Primordial Spirit Peach. Jade Profound Pill, even in the Overlord-level Sect Profound Creek Valley of the Liang country. Few alchemists can successfully refine it. It can enhance the mana of late-stage and perfection cultivators, and is rarely seen in the outside world. This pill must be an item that high-tier Foundation Establishment cultivators would compete over. The 5 Elements Primordial Spirit Peach doesn't even need much explanation. Eating it can not only increase cultivation, but more importantly, it has life-extending effects. If released, those fake pill ancestors would probably break their heads for it. After all, fake pill ancestors' path ends here. Unable to practice to later stages, their lifespan becomes the most important thing to them. Other than those traded to the Mirror Snow Pavilion. The one Qin Ming took out should also be the first in the Wei Cultivation Realm in 100 years. Shui Zhili was filled with excitement. He hadn't expected Qin Ming to present such fine items right at the start. Fellow Taoist Qin, rest assured, these 2 items are enough to be the climax of the event. They will definitely fetch a price that will satisfy you, fellow Taoist Qin. Qin Ming nodded upon hearing this. Then I'll take a stroll around first. After that, Qin Ming wandered around the black market by himself. It wasn't long before Qin Ming spotted many valuable items at several stalls. However, there were also many unsightly and shady items. After half a stick of incense time, Qin Ming stopped at a stall where the vendor was a golden-haired old man. Judging by his clothing, he was likely a cultivator from Liang country. The other person's cultivation was not low, faintly emitting the mana fluctuations of Foundation Establishment perfection. Qin Ming's gaze fell on one of the items at the stall. How much is this tier 2 high-grade snake saliva grass? The golden-haired old man was meditating with his eyes narrowed and slowly opened them upon hearing a price inquiry, looking toward Qin Ming. 500 middle-grade spirit stones, non-negotiable. Or you can exchange it with spiritual materials of equal value. The golden-haired man's voice was like a great bell, with a robust tone that gave an overwhelming sense of presence. He glanced at Qin Ming, seeing his cultivation was only at the early stage foundation establishment, and reckoned he couldn't afford the tier 2 high-grade spirit grass. He only considered Qin Ming to be a cultivator asking for the price. After speaking, the golden-haired old man no longer paid attention to Qin Ming and closed his eyes again. Qin Ming, all right, I'll take this spirit grass. After a long while, the golden-haired old man then suddenly opened his eyes, somewhat surprised as he sized up Qin Ming, and then nodded lightly. Qin Ming, expressionless, took 500 middle-grade spirit stones from his storage pouch and handed them to the man. Then he took the snake's saliva grass into his hand. At this moment, a gray-robed old man came rushing over, with the cultivation also at foundation establishment perfection. He said to the golden-haired old man, "Golden salamander old monster, I want that snake's saliva grass of yours. It's exactly what I need to concoct a pill. Old ghost Muhi, you're a step too late. The spirit grass has already been bought by this young friend." The golden salamander replied blandly. The old man called Old Ghost Mu, he became anxious upon hearing this. "How could you sell it already? I really need the snake's saliva grass for alchemy." Then Old Ghost Mu, he looked toward Qin Ming, noticing his cultivation was only early stage foundation establishment, intending to make him obediently hand over the spirit grass. After all, the early stage foundation establishment is 3 small realms apart from perfection. The other party could even call him senior. A foundation establishment perfection cultivator is considered a top-tier great cultivator in many countries. Old Ghost Mu, he was about to speak, but when he saw Qin Ming's face clearly, he seemed to remember something. He then exclaimed in shock, "So it's Qin Ming, fellow Taoist Qin. A pleasure to meet you. A pleasure indeed." Old Ghost Muhi's attitude suddenly changed, cupping his hands in greeting. This left the golden salamander old monster bewildered by the scene. He was well aware of Old Ghost Muhi's temperament. The items he sets his sights on are usually not given up easily. Why is he talking so gently to this junior today? "Old Ghost Mu, do you know this young friend?" the golden salamander asked. Old Ghost Mu, he donned a smile, then replied, "This here is none other than Master Qin from the famous Wei country. Of course, I know him. A tier 2 high-grade spirit plant master and alchemy master, hailed in the southern wilderness cultivation realm as the most likely cultivator to break through to tier 3 grandmaster. Also heard from Elder Su of Profound Creek Valley. Elder Su speaks highly of fellow Taoist Qin." The golden salamander old monster, after hearing this, didn't expect the plain-looking young cultivator before him to have such a significant background and to be highly regarded by Elder Su of Profound Creek Valley. He quickly stood up from his chair and greeted Qin Ming with cupped hands. "Haha, so it's Master Qin. My apologies for the earlier neglect. Please forgive me." Qin Ming didn't mind at all. He simply replied politely to the two of them, then lifted his foot to leave. "Please wait, fellow Taoist Qin." Qin Ming paused again upon hearing this, puzzled. "Is there anything else, fellow Taoists?" Since we've met here, why not take the opportunity to exchange what we have and engage in some exchange? I'm currently concocting a pill and urgently need snake saliva grass as an ingredient. Fellow Taoist Qin, is there anything you need? I am willing to exchange for it, or even purchase it with spirit stones, said Old Ghost Muhi. Qin Ming thought for a moment, then said, "Does fellow Taoist Mu have the demon pill or essence blood of a tier 2 perfection demon beast?" This, Qin Ming's request left Old Ghost Muhi in a bind. "Frankly, I don't have such high-tier demon beast materials, and the value of tier 2 high-grade snake saliva grass isn't that high." Could fellow Taoist Qin specify another condition? Just as Qin Ming was about to speak. "Oh, fellow Taoist Qin needs tier 2 perfection demon beast essence blood? It so happens I have some here," the golden salamander old monster suddenly said. Then he took out an ointment jade bottle from his storage pouch, opened it, and showed it to Qin Ming. Instantly, a fierce aura surged forth. "It's indeed tier 2 perfection demon beast essence blood, and it's wind attribute," Qin Ming said delightedly, not expecting to find what he needed here. I wonder what conditions fellow Taoist Jean needs for this bottle of essence blood. The golden salamander old monster pondered for a moment before saying, "This bottle contains the stone ape great demon essence blood." At that time, 2 fellow cultivators perished while we were slaying this fierce beast, alas. As he spoke, he couldn't help but let out a sigh. I've heard that fellow Taoist Qin's alchemy skill is unparalleled. I would like to exchange for a pill that enhances foundation, establishment, perfection, cultivation, or something of equal value. Qin Ming inwardly rejoiced at the mention, not expecting it to be the stone ape great demon's essence blood. He promptly took out a delicate jade bottle from his storage pouch and handed it over, asking, "I wonder if this pill meets fellow Taoist Jin's expectations?" The golden salamander old monster opened the jade bottle and was immediately enveloped by an alluring fragrance of the pill. As he looked inside, he showed an expression of immense joy. Jade profound pill. Even old Ghost Moo, he beside him, revealed a look of extreme envy, with a hint of greed flickering in his eyes. The emergence of this pill attracted the nearby cultivators to gather around and watch. Wow, a high-tier pill. It looks like a jade profound pill, doesn't it? I've heard only Grandmaster Gong Sunyang from Profound Creek Valley can concoct it. Who is this person? How do they have jade profound pill? It's Master Qin from Wei Country. I've heard that his alchemical skills are also at the acme of perfection, not expecting he is capable of concocting jade profound pill too. The golden salamander old monster hurriedly closed the bottle of the pill and then quickly nodded, saying, "Fellow Taoist Qin, this pill is excellent. It's a deal." Thus, Qin Ming nodded and put away the bottle containing the stone ape essence blood, and both of them got what they needed and were delighted. Nearby cultivators all showed a look of envy. "Oh, is that really a jade profound pill? I wonder if fellow Taoist Qin has any more spare pills." I also wish to deal with fellow Taoist Qin. A white-faced middle-aged man at late-stage foundation establishment stepped out from the crowd, smiling and asking Qin Ming. Qin Ming was about to reply to the man, but as he looked at the middle-aged man, his pupils suddenly contracted. The middle-aged man with a white face in front of me had undergone some kind of skillful disguise. It's similar to Qin Ming's true demon illusion, equally ingenious, so much so that even ordinary cultivators or even golden core ancestors might not be able to see through it. However, under the eye of destruction of Qin Ming, the other's exquisite disguise is as good as non-existent to him. He also hid his cultivation level. His actual cultivation is foundation establishment perfection. This person is none other than the long-disappeared hero of the demonic path, Lin Zixiao. It's actually him. What is this person plotting by infiltrating the black market? Qin Ming's mind raced swiftly, knowing that this demon owl coming here is certainly not a good omen. He must have some scheme. However, Qin Ming's current cultivation strength is also fearless of the other party. Compared to when he was chased around, today is different from the past. Perhaps even if Lin Zixiao has now broken through to foundation establishment perfection, he might still not be his match. The white-faced middle-aged man, disguised by Lin Zixiao, saw Qin Ming's eyes flashing with a fleeting, complex emotion. Apparently, he still vividly remembers almost dying under Qin Ming's divine sword thunder-attracting technique in Xingyang Market. This fellow Taoist arrived late. That bottle was already the last of my stock. If you truly need the Jade Profound Pill, you can wait for the upcoming black market auction start. I have already sent a bottle for auction. Qin Ming replied with a usual calm expression, pretending not to see through the other party. The white-faced middle-aged man, transformed by Lin Zixiao, was taken aback for a moment, and then smiled. I also boast some good things. Would fellow Taoist Qin care to take a look? Qin Ming inwardly grew wary, seeing Lin Zixiao's insistent demeanor. Not trading with him could easily make him suspicious. I also have demon beast essence blood of tier 2 perfection here, and even a demon pill. I wonder if fellow Taoist Qin is interested. Lin Zixiao said, taking out a jade bottle and an ointment jade box. Fellow Taoist Qin took a look. Indeed, it was as the other said. Meanwhile, he developed a new estimation of Lin Zixiao's strength. The Tier 2 Perfection Great Demon was likely slain by him personally. This demon beast had been dead for less than 3 days. I heard fellow Taoist Qin exclusively brewed an immortal brew named Jade Qilin Wine. I have long admired it. Can I trade these 2 items for 2 jars of fellow Taoist Qin's Jade Qilin Wine? Lin Zixiao said with a smile. Externally, Qin Ming showed no change, not understanding why the other would trade 2 top demonic beast materials for merely 2 jars of spirit wine. But looking at the essence blood in the other's hand, it did not have a low bloodline grade. After some thought, he took out 2 jars of Jade Qilin wine from his storage pouch and handed them to Lin Zixiao. Since fellow Taoist is so kind, I can hardly refuse. Deal! Lin Zixiao smiled, accepting the spirit wine from Qin Ming without even looking before putting it away. Qin Ming increasingly couldn't figure out what Lin Zixiao was plotting. He only wanted to take the spirit stones from Steadily and leave as soon as the auction ended. Afterwards, Qin Ming strolled around the black market again, picking up some things. At 11:45 a.m., the black market auction commenced, with Steadily taking the stage as the host. After a passionate opening speech, one rare item after another was displayed. Because for this auction, the lowest cultivation level participants were early-stage foundation establishment cultivators. The bidding process was exceptionally fierce. Steadily ended up profiting immensely. After dozens of items were auctioned, another item was presented. Steadily slowly unveiled a red cloth, revealing half a copper mirror fragment. Upon seeing this item, even Qin Ming, usually calm, felt an unprecedented inner wavering. It's actually the other half of the artifact fragment. Searching high and low, only to find it effortlessly. Haha, I didn't expect to encounter this here. It seems that the matter of refining my life-bound artifact can be put on the agenda. But first, I must win the fragment and leave quickly. Steadily began introduction. This item is commissioned for auction by a fellow Taoist from Wu country. It is a piece of artifact fragment. Starting price, 600 middle-grade spirit stones. As soon as his voice fell, cultivators began to bid. 700 middle-grade spirit stones. Although it's an artifact fragment, it's somewhat useless. Already ruined, it has no power, not worth the bid. Though only a half fragment, it has research value. I'd bid 750, 800. Observing for a while, Qin Ming timely began bidding 850, 900. A familiar voice rang out. Qin Ming looked over and saw it was Lin Zixiao also bidding. His expression turned a bit unpleasant. Won't Lin Zixiao confront me? 950, 980. As the price climbed higher, more cultivators withdrew from bidding. In the end, only Qin Ming and Lin Zixiao remained. Lin Zixiao also noticed Qin Ming's interest. Thus he continued bidding, though he hadn't figured anything special about it. 1,000 middle-grade spirit stones. Inwardly, Qin Ming cursed Lin Zixiao while calmly quoting the price. On stage, Steadily did not expect such a high price for an artifact fragment. Another revenue creation left his smile nearly uncontrollable. Since fellow Taoist Qin is interested in this item, I won't compete. The white-faced, middle-aged man, disguised by Lin Zixiao, said with a sly smile. Upon hearing this, Qin Ming let out a long breath. 1,000 middle-grade spirit stones once. 1,000 middle-grade spirit stones twice. 1,000 middle-grade spirit stones 3 times. Congratulations, fellow Taoist Qin. Steadily acted swiftly, promptly having someone deliver the copper mirror fragment to him on site. Qin Ming glanced at the fragment, confirming it was the other half, immediately becoming excited inside. However, he masked it well, silently putting away half the copper mirror. Afterwards, Steadily announced the event's highlight auction item. As the Jade Profound Pill was presented by a servant girl, it ignited the passion of the cultivators present. Once the bidding began, several Foundation Establishment Perfection veterans couldn't sit still anymore. Everyone began bidding, with Jade Profound Pill's price soaring. Only, what made Qin Ming curious was that Lin Zixiao sat among the crowd, ceasing his bidding after a few offers. This gave Qin Ming an ominous foreboding. Won't this guy get it for 0 spirit stones again? Ultimately, the Jade Profound Pill was taken by a Foundation Establishment Perfection cultivator from Jin Country for 2,000 middle-grade spirit stones. Following that, when Shui Zhili unveiled the 5 elements primordial spirit peach, the atmosphere in the black market froze. Tier 2 top-grade spirit fruit, 5 elements primordial spirit peach. After consumption, it increases mana cultivation, and at the same time, the first use extends lifespan by 30 years. Boom! The young cultivators wouldn't mind. They have plenty of remaining lifespan to pursue the great Tao. But the older cultivators are different. They all fix their gaze on the 5 elements primordial spirit peach, eyes filled with madness. The peach for those late-stage Foundation Establishment and Perfection great cultivators is extremely enticing. Additional 30 years of lifespan means more time seeking opportunities to chase the golden core Tao. The 5 elements primordial spirit peach, starting bid at 800 middle-grade spirit stones. Each bid must be no less than 50 middle-grade spirit stones. As Shui Zhili's words fell, the auction at the black market erupted with noise, and cultivators raised their voices, eagerly starting to bid. Those at the early stage Foundation Establishment could only sigh at the skyrocketing bid prices. Such a top-grade spirit fruit could only be afforded by those Foundation Establishment cultivators with deep resources. Moreover, once this spirit fruit is won, many cultivators are likely to consume it on the spot. Otherwise, in the black market's chaotic mix, it's easy to become a target. Whether you can safely leave is uncertain, but once it's in your stomach, that's the safest. 1,250. 1,300. The bidding continued, and even Qin Ming himself hadn't expected the 5 elements primordial spirit peach to be so popular. It was similar to loose cultivators scrambling for a Foundation Establishment pill. Thinking of his more than 860 years of lifespan and the endless supply of spirit peaches, Qin Ming couldn't help but feel emotional. In the end, only a few Foundation Establishment Perfection cultivators remained bidding in the scene. To Qin Ming's surprise, Lin Zixiao, disguised as a white-faced middle-aged man, was also bidding along. Each time he bid, it was only 50 spirit stones more than the previous cultivator. 2,000, 2,050. Gradually, the competition among those Foundation Establishment Perfection cultivators reached a fever pitch. 2,200. As a vigorous voice announced, no one else followed with a bid. The bidder was none other than old ghost Mu He, whom Qin Ming had seen before. His eyes were fixed on the spirit peach on stage, seemingly at the limit of what he could offer. As the surrounding voices quieted, tension flickered in Mu He's expression. 2,250. Lin Zixiao's calm voice shattered Mu He's illusion entirely. Shui Zhili's face was about to split with his smile, and seeing no further bids, he promptly announced, 2,250 once, 2,250 twice, 2,250 3 times. Sold. Congratulations to this fellow Taoist. As Shui Zhili confirmed with a strike, the 5 elements primordial spirit peach on stage was delivered to the white-faced middle-aged man, Lin Zixiao. Old ghost Mu He's eyes were almost bleeding, while countless gazes fell upon the white-faced man. Lin Zixiao, without looking sideways, handed over the spirit stones and stored the 5 elements primordial spirit peach in a jade box. Seems like this person has no intention of consuming it right away. Witnessing this, many cultivators present harbored ulterior motives. After all, those who come to the black market surely have sinister thoughts among them. All right, this black market auction has concluded successfully. Fellow Taoists may communicate with each other or leave on your own. When the next auction starts, I will invite you all to participate once more. Afterward, Zhili announced the end of the black market auction. After instructing his subordinates, Zhili stepped forward to Qin Ming, beaming as he handed a bag of spirit stones to him. Hee, fellow Taoist Qin, here are the spirit stones after deducting the commission, totaling 3,825 middle-grade spirit stones. Please check them. Qin Ming took the spirit stone bag, glanced inside to verify, and then put it away. The number of spirit stones is correct. Fellow Taoist Shui, I have urgent matters and will leave now. All right. When fellow Taoist Qin has some time, feel free to visit my residence in Vasi Immortal City, Zhili said with a smile. Subsequently, Qin Ming didn't linger and retraced his path back to the surface. Suddenly, as he scanned the crowd, he noticed many cultivators with malicious intentions, their eyes on him. One should not flaunt their wealth. It seems I've been targeted. Zhili's confidentiality measures are lacking. I won't come next time. Fortunately, it wasn't a wasted trip as I unexpectedly completed the other half of the copper mirror. While walking, Qin Ming kept a vigilant eye on his surroundings. His brow furrowed as he noticed the white-faced, middle-aged man, Lin Zixiao in disguise, walking toward him. Oh, what a coincidence, fellow Taoist Qin. Care to travel together? Lin Zixiao asked with a smiling face. No need. I don't share the same path with you, so let's part ways here, Qin Ming replied without a second thought. Surprised by Qin Ming's straightforward rejection, Lin Zixiao could only give an awkward smile. Hee, maybe we'll meet again. I feel a natural connection with fellow Taoist Qin. Just wanted to make an acquaintance. Qin Ming inwardly cursed this old fox, suspecting he had ulterior motives. They did indeed get along at first sight. Little did Lin Zixiao know, Qin Ming had already seen through his disguise. Next time, definitely next time. I have urgent matters, so I'll take my leave first. With that, Qin Ming quickened his steps and left the artifact refining shop. He could still feel that he was being locked onto by more than a dozen Foundation establishment cultivators' divine thoughts. This black market has many treasures, but the risks are also high. I don't know what Zhili did this time, allowing so many tribulation cultivators to get in. If these tribulation cultivators don't know what's good for them, they can only blame me for being ruthless. Unfazed, Qin Ming left the market alone, then flew southward. As soon as he left, more than a dozen cultivators of varying appearances flew after him. These cultivators apparently weren't working together. So, we're all from the same underworld circle, haha. That Qin from Wei Country is quite the plump prey. We spotted him first. We're all in this trade. Let's not play tricks. Let's see who takes him down, then we'll settle it among ourselves. Hurry up and catch up, or he'll get away. Don't worry, just a low-tier spirit plant master at the early stage Foundation establishment. He won't escape Blade Mountain's 5 demons. Such naivety. Dozens of escape lights flashed, speeding toward Qin Ming's direction. Half a cup of tea time later, the group caught up with Qin Ming. Soon, this group of tribulation cultivators surrounded Qin Ming. One of them, a bald, burly man, grinned wickedly at Qin Ming. I've long heard of fellow Taoist Qin, the master of Wangyue Island. I've also heard there are treasures galore on Wangyue Island, but the mist illusion realm outside is too formidable, leaving us no opportunity to see. Why not? Fellow Taoist Qin, give us rough folk a tour. I can assure you, when you die, you'll suffer less pain. Surrounded by these tribulation cultivators, Qin Ming showed no panic. He glanced around at the cultivators. Most were at the mid to early stage Foundation establishment, with only 3 at late stage Foundation establishment. Perfect, my life-bound spirit plant, Yin Yang Profound Vine, hasn't had a good nourishment in a while. Since these tribulation cultivators delivered themselves, they could become fertilizer. A smile appeared on Qin Ming's face as he spoke. There are indeed many treasures on Wangyue Island, but I happen to have a few great treasures with me that I can show you. Oh, what great treasures! Hurry and show us. The tribulation cultivators became wary, noticing Qin Ming's calm demeanor despite being surrounded. To reach Foundation establishment tribulation cultivator, they needed a degree of professionalism. However, Among their numbers, even a foundation establishment perfection cultivator could not escape at this moment. Thus, they were curious to see what trick Qin Ming had up his sleeve. Qin Ming smiled and tapped his spirit pet bag. 3 gigantic figures emitting terrifying auras suddenly appeared before them. But that wasn't all. He flicked his finger, spiritual light flashed in front, and 2 more turtle puppets at mid-stage foundation establishment leaped out. A series of crunching noises sounded, and their eyes shone with golden light. 2 late-stage Tier 2, 1 mid-stage foundation establishment Great Demon, plus 2 Tier 2 middle-grade puppets. A fierce and overwhelming aura enveloped the entire scene. The tribulation cultivators present were also taken aback by this sudden change. Just those 2 late-stage Tier 2 great demons were enough trouble for them, not to mention the master who had hidden so deeply. Only now did the tribulation cultivators realize that fellow Taoist Qin from Wei Country wasn't afraid at all, because he was fully prepared. He didn't immediately escape after leaving the market, because he was waiting to set a trap. How can an ordinary early-stage foundation establishment cultivator control such terrifying Tier 2 great demons? But what happened next was even more shocking to them. Second brother, take care of those on the right. Third brother, you're watching the left. I'll handle those 3 late-stage foundation establishment ones. Make sure none of them escape, and keep the bodies intact. The master has great use for them. Cough. This is my first battle after pledging allegiance to the master, and you all should perform well too. Among the 3 demon beasts, the large, gray-furred mouse demon spoke human words. For a moment, the worldviews of all the tribulation cultivators were turned upside down. Among the demon race, who besides a Tier 3 demon king could speak and possess intelligence. Thinking of this, many tribulation cultivators broke out in cold sweat. The 5 demons of Blade Mountain, who had initially boasted of easily capturing Qin Ming, were now starting to back out. Roar! Before anyone could react, the profound water crocodile's body expanded to 30 zhang, its mountain-sized body blocking all escape routes. Immediately, its tail crackled with blue lightning, sweeping toward the nearest cultivators. Boom! 2 early-stage foundation establishment cultivators were barely brushed by the crocodile's tail when they were instantly overpowered by its destructive force, their bodies falling from the sky like broken cloth. Qin Ming, quick of eye and hand, used the thorn technique to drain the 2 corpses, leaving only 2 blood pearls in his hand. The crowd had never seen such a bizarre method, and they were scared out of their wits. This one's too tough. Retreat quickly. The group quickly assessed the situation. Except for the 3 late-stage foundation establishment cultivators, none of them would even be a snack for the 2 late-stage Tier 2 great demons. Buzz. Just then, invisible ripples spread through the air. Everyone suddenly felt dizzy in their minds. Their mana momentarily stalled, and nearly all their techniques were rendered unusable. After the Silverwing Frost Bee advanced to the late-stage Tier 2, its divine techniques were incomparable to before. Taking advantage of this gap, in a few flashes, it had killed 3 foundation establishment cultivators. Swoosh! The bald, burly man, seemingly a body cultivator, lunged fiercely at Qin Ming, trying to break through him. But halfway through, he sensed a terrifying wave from below. As the late-stage foundation establishment bald man tried to dodge, it was too late. Swish! A pitch-black earth spike several zhang long appeared from the void, piercing him completely through. The bald cultivator's strong physique was as fragile as paper against this black earth spike technique. The next second, the heaven-devouring rat quietly emerged from the void beside him, bared its sharp teeth, and bit off his neck. Blood spurted as the bald man's eyes filled with terror, dying beyond revival. On the other side, Qin Ming's 3 spirit pets and 2 puppets unleashed their might, practically a one-sided massacre. Though the heaven-devouring rat's cultivation had only recovered to Tier 2 mid-stage, its battle prowess with divine techniques was not inferior to a Tier 2 perfection level great demon. Its form disappearing and reappearing in the void, The remaining 2 late-stage Foundation establishment cultivators hadn't even spotted it before it bit their necks. Fellow Taoist Qin, spare me. Pleas for mercy kept coming, but Qin Ming remained unheard. After half an incense stick's worth of time, without Qin Ming having to do much, the dozen or so tribulation cultivators were swiftly dealt with. Qin Ming used the thorn technique, harvesting more than a dozen blood pearls from the Foundation establishment stage cultivators. Fresh fertilizer. Expressionless, he pocketed all the storage pouches of these tribulation cultivators, then destroyed the bodies and left the place. But he hadn't gone far. Behind him again came the sound of something breaking through the air, and the speed of the newcomer was many times faster than the previous tribulation cultivators. Within just a few breaths, the figure had caught up to Qin Ming from behind. Frowning, he glanced back to find Lin Zixiao disguised as a white-faced, middle-aged man approaching. Vigilance rose in Qin Ming's heart, his gaze turning cold. Lin Zixiao, this demonic overlord, was unlike those ordinary tribulation cultivators before. Could he be coming for me too? If that's the case, I'll have to strike first. Just as Qin Ming was about to make a move, he sensed 3 more powerful presences following Lin Zixiao. Oh, fellow Taoist Qin, it said we're not on the same path. Yet here we meet again so soon. Lin Zixiao halted in front of him and greeted him with a smile. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. 3 escape lights arrived, stopping nearby, revealing their appearances. Qin Ming raised his eyes and saw that it was old Ghost Mu He, along with 2 other Foundation establishment perfection cultivators who participated in the black market trade. Old Ghost Mu He was puzzled as to why his target had suddenly stopped, but seeing Qin Ming brought a sinister smile to his face. Turns out it's fellow Taoist Qin. What a coincidence. From the situation, Qin Ming guessed that old Ghost Mu He had his eyes on the 5 elements primordial spirit peach in Lin Zixiao's hand, unable to win the auction, intending to snatch it. However, old Ghost Mu He probably didn't know that he was pursuing the number 1 demonic robber of Wei Country's Cultivation Realm. On the brink of death, still unaware. Mu He, there's one more. What do we do? Asked a Foundation establishment perfection cultivator beside Mu He. They knew of Qin Ming's reputation in Wei Country, and if he were killed and news got out, they might no longer be able to stay in Wei. Finish them all. If worst comes to worst, we can always return to Liang Country. Old Ghost Mu He was also decisive, promptly making his decision. Lin Zixiao faintly smiled, indifferent, and said to Qin Ming, fellow Taoist Qin, did you hear? These 3 want both our lives. I'd say they're the ones who are going to die. Don't you agree, fellow Taoist Lin? Qin Ming retorted with a cold laugh, revealing the other's identity. Lin Zixiao was likely here for him too, so there was no point in further pretense. He hadn't anticipated 3 more tales following. Lin Zixiao's face was still smiling, but as Qin Ming exposed his identity, his pupils suddenly contracted. How did you discover my identity? Lin Zixiao dropped the smile, turmoil rising within. In that moment, he found Qin Ming difficult to fathom. His disguise secret technique originated from the demonic inheritance in the Yunzi wilderness ruins. Even the Golden Core ancestor couldn't see through it, yet Qin Ming had identified him. This was deeply unsettling. The 2 of them spoke, almost ignoring old Ghost Mu He and the others. This left old Ghost Mu He startled for a moment. What fellow Taoist Lin? To think it was someone hiding behind a mask. Exposed by Qin Ming, Lin Zixiao no longer hid, and black mist rose around him. His form and face twisted, revealing his true appearance. A tall and grim black-robed cultivator appeared before everyone. Fellow Taoist Qin, long time no sees. Lin Zixiao's true appearance emerged. In an instant, overwhelming dark demonic qi surged around him, as if it could swallow people whole at any moment. At the same time, an enormous spiritual pressure from Foundation establishment perfection descended, far surpassing that of old Ghost Mu He and the others. Even among Foundation establishment perfection cultivators, there are differences. Qin Ming felt a chill in his heart, fearing that this demonic hero of Wei country was just a step away from breaking through to the Golden Core stage. This person's scheming, luck, methods, and boldness were among the top Qin Ming had ever encountered. In midair, an aura of evil qi, like a sea of corpses and blood, emanated from Lin Zixiao, causing the surrounding air to drop abruptly to freezing point. Old Ghost Mu He looked at the shocking scene before him and exclaimed with a grave expression, "Demonic cultivator!" The other two Foundation Establishment Perfection cultivators were also as if facing a great enemy, secretly channeling mana and gripping their treasured spiritual artifacts tightly. Oomph! I didn't expect you to be a demonic cultivator. Could it be that you were hiding your cultivation just now to lure us into a trap? Old Ghost Mu He snorted coldly, feeling lingering fear and regret. If Qin Ming hadn't exposed the other's identity on the spot, they might really have fallen into the demonic cultivator's trap before them. Lin Zixiao smirked with disdain and said, "To handle you three good-for-nothings, do I even need a trap? Aren't you overestimating yourselves a bit? If it weren't for fellow Taoist Qin being here, you three wouldn't even be worth my effort." Hearing this, Old Ghost Mu He was furious. Since achieving Foundation Establishment Perfection, no one had ever dared to speak to him like that. Oomph! Such arrogance. Aren't you also just at Foundation Establishment Perfection? Words are useless. I would like to challenge your skills. I hope your mouth can remain as tough later. Old Ghost Mu He, relying on his numerical advantage, wasn't excessively afraid even when encountering a demonic cultivator like Lin Zixiao, seeing he was alone. He was a well-known Foundation Establishment Perfection loose cultivator in Liang country and had taken down quite a few late-stage and perfection cultivators, hence he had some confidence in his own strength. At worst, if he couldn't win, he could always run. They were all at Foundation Establishment Perfection after all. Could you possibly instant kill me? Old Ghost Mu He weighed his options and then took the initiative, harnessing all his mana to control a golden flood dragon scissors spiritual artifact, cutting towards Lin Zixiao. This tier 2 high-grade spiritual artifact, golden flood dragon scissors, was obtained by Mu He in a secret realm. Its might was great, having achieved many merits in past combats. To not even take me seriously, truly abhorrent. In an instant, the large golden flood dragon scissors crossed dozens of zhang distances, reaching above Lin Zixiao, bursting forth with two golden rays, intending to cut down on him. But Lin Zixiao remained unmoved, only displaying a mocking smile at the corner of his mouth. Boom! Then he merely lifted his hand and grasped the air. Boom! A mass of cyan-black, demonic flame suddenly appeared in his hand, transforming into a ghostly creature with double wings flying towards the golden flood dragon scissors. Instantly, countless black flames blazed fiercely, engulfing Mu He's golden flood dragon scissors. The demonic flames erupted in the air, crackling loudly. The tier 2 high-grade spiritual artifact, golden flood dragon scissors, uttered a mournful wail under the burning of the demonic flames. Upon witnessing this, Old Ghost Mu He was frantic, intending to retrieve the spiritual artifact, only to be horrified to find he had lost its connection. As he was about to take action, he saw the demonic fire in front of him flash violently, turning into cyan-black flames that surrounded Mu He, sealing off his escape route. Mu He quickly produced a purple fire-extinguishing pearl magical artifact, channeling mana to fend it off with all his might. But in the next moment, countless demonic flames penetrated the defense of the spiritual artifact, mercilessly devouring him whole. Old Ghost Mu He's body was engulfed in cyan-black demonic flames. No matter what methods he used, he couldn't extinguish the black flames. Then Lin Zixiao waved his hand, and a black blade slashed down, sending a perfect head flying. From when Old Ghost Mu He attacked Lin Zixiao to being instant killed, it took only a few breaths. The other two Foundation Establishment Perfection cultivators had no time to react. When they wanted to rescue Old Ghost Mu He, his head and body had already separated, What kind of foundation establishment perfection methods were these? The two were terrified beyond measure. They glanced at each other and decisively retreated, attempting to flee using their magical artifacts. But Lin Zixiao merely flicked his finger, causing a black array light curtain to rise out of nowhere, enveloping everyone present like a cage. High-tier trapping array. The two foundation establishment perfection cultivators immediately halted, then cast two powerful spells in succession, striking the array. Boom! Boom! But after the two explosions, their full-strength attacks vanished without a trace, like a stone sinking into the cloud sea, making no waves. Only then did the two realize that this was no ordinary array, and the Lin Zixiao before them was no ordinary demonic cultivator. But it was already too late. Lin Zixiao manipulated the cyan-black demonic flames, turning them into numerous fierce ghosts, which flew towards the two. They each used all their strength, desperately trying to fend off the bizarre demonic flames. Cyan Luo, demon fire. Qin Ming watched as Lin Zixiao, with just a demonic flame, easily slaughtered the three foundation establishment perfection cultivators like they were mere chickens and dogs. He naturally recognized the origin of the mighty demonic flames used by Lin Zixiao. It was one of the tier 2 demonic flames mentioned in the primordial evil seed demon scripture. The Cyan Luo demon fire was originally refined by a notorious demonic giant hundreds of years ago. After his fall, it formed a forbidden demon cave, with nothing growing within 100 miles. For hundreds of years, this demonic flame continuously absorbed the evil chi within the demon cave, gained spiritual wisdom, and devoured nearby living beings, growing ever stronger. The demonic fire not only corrupted a cultivator's spiritual artifact, but also could burn their soul directly, inducing heart demon illusions, resulting in an extremely cruel and painful death. Moreover, the more souls it absorbed, the stronger the Cyan Luo demon fire became. Judging by the power of this demonic fire, Lin Zixiao must have refined quite a few foundation establishment cultivator souls. It's likely already at the level of a tier 2 high-grade heaven and earth spirit fire. I never expected Lin Zixiao to even wield such terrifying demonic flames before even half a cup of tea had passed. The two foundation establishment perfection cultivators soon couldn't hold on, entangled by the Cyan Luo demon fire, displaying signs of madness. Their deepest heart demons were instantly provoked, causing them to attack each other. Swish! Swish! Lin Zixiao didn't hesitate, directly unleashing two black blades, sending two heads flying, sending the pair into the next life. He collected the storage pouches of the three, then slowly turned back to Qin Ming with a smile. With these three who didn't know their place gone, it's a bit quieter now. Lin Zixiao summoned the Cyan Luo demon fire with one hand, the terrifying demonic flames returning to his hand, quietly watching Qin Ming. Qin Ming, seeing this, remained unpanicked, opened his mouth and spat out a flame of icy blue, which hovered in his hand. He said to Lin Zixiao, expressionless, "Could it be that fellow Taoist Lin hasn't seen me in a long time, and upon meeting, wants to exchange a few moves with Qin? Spirit-devouring poison flame." Lin Zixiao looked at the ice-blue spirit flame in Qin Ming's hand and couldn't help but exclaim in surprise. It's truly unexpected. Fellow Taoist Qin really is someone with extraordinary fortune. To think that the person who took the treasures from the other two light domes in the Yunza wilderness ruins secret realm turned out to be fellow Taoist Qin. Qin Ming's spirit-devouring poison flame had previously devoured the tier 2 demon fire of Lin Zixiao's companion and fused his own foundation establishment innate true flame with it. Now, the spirit-devouring poison flame had also advanced to tier 2 high grade, just one step away from breaking through to tier 3. If he and Lin Zixiao were to have a decisive battle today, it was possible that his spirit-devouring poison flame could advance to tier 3. As for Lin Zixiao, recognizing his spirit-devouring poison flame at first glance, it was within his expectations. After all, when Lin Zixiao obtained the demonic inheritance from the ruins, it likely contained references to the spirit-devouring poison flame. Indeed, fellow Taoist Lin also managed to obtain that inheritance from the remnants right under the eyes of several sects. Qin Ming spoke bluntly. Lin Zixiao's gaze flickered. He had just swiftly killed 3 Foundation Establishment Perfection cultivators, and Qin Ming watched the entire process, yet his expression didn't change. He couldn't discern Qin Ming's intentions. He suddenly remembered that Qin Ming was the only cultivator in all his years in the demonic path that had nearly brought him to the brink of death. He knew that Qin Ming wasn't an ordinary Foundation Establishment cultivator and couldn't be judged by common sense. Over the years, I have heard many legendary tales about fellow Taoist Qin. Outsiders only know fellow Taoist Qin as an exceptional spirit plant master who isn't skilled in magical duels. But that is a major misconception. In reality, fellow Taoist Qin's true cultivation isn't low, right? Furthermore, I have one question that puzzles me greatly. How did fellow Taoist Qin see through my disguise? Qin Ming wasn't interested in dragging it out with him. Fellow Taoist Lin, talking is pointless. How is cultivation? Whether it is true will be seen in action. After finishing, Qin Ming's gaze sharpened, and the spirit-devouring poison flame in his hand suddenly transformed into an ice-blue firebird, emanating a soul-chilling aura. Seeing Qin Ming make his move, Lin Zixiao's gaze also chilled, and the cyan luo demon fire in his hand transformed again into a ghostly creature with wings, howling as it pounced toward Qin Ming. Boom! Bam! A blue and a black high-tier heaven and earth spirit fire suddenly clashed in the air. Countless flames scattered and flew in all directions, and terrifying ripples echoed through the skies. The 2 spirit flames entangled in the air for a time, with neither giving way, as if determined not to rest until they devoured the other. Lin Zixiao's demonic qi surged around him, and his figure vanished instantly from the spot. When he reappeared, he was already slashing out several dozen zhonglong black band streaks towards Qin Ming with a wave of his hand. The black streaks sliced through Qin Ming's figure, but it turned out to be a shadow. Whoosh! With a pinch and a gesture, countless black vines crazily spread from beneath Lin Zixiao's feet. Lin Zixiao stared at these black vines with a sudden alarming sensation between his eyebrows. He could sense that if he were caught, he'd be doomed. The next instant, Lin Zixiao's figure blurred, swiftly transforming into a pitch-black mist and disappearing from the spot. He narrowly and dangerously evaded the entangling black thorns. Late-stage Foundation Establishment. Lin Zixiao looked at Qin Ming with lingering fear. Qin Ming didn't pursue, but instead bit his middle finger, pinched a gesture, and outlined a strange blood-red rune in the void, a secret technique from the primordial evil seed demon scripture to enhance spirit firepower. Cha! The blood-red rune, under Qin Ming's command, merged into the spirit-devouring poison flame, clashing with the cyan luo demon fire. Ku! Instantly, the ice-blue spirit-devouring poison flame firebird expanded, stirring a monstrous heat wave in the air, abruptly overpowering the cyan luo demon fire, and it began to consume the cyan black flame. The just retreating Lin Zixiao saw this sight, and his expression couldn't help but change suddenly. This cyan luo demon fire was obtained with great effort. Just waiting for the chance to enter the demon cave took him a whole 10 years. In addition to later hunting cultivators and absorbing their souls to refine the demonic fire cost him significant effort. It was an invaluable, powerful trump card. Even against same-tier Foundation Establishment Perfection cultivators, he could rely on this demon fire for an instant kill. Seeing his crucial demonic fire being devoured by Qin Ming's poison flame, Lin Zixiao hurriedly tried to recall the cyan luo demon fire, but found it was entangled and couldn't be retrieved. Fellow Taoist Qin is still the first cultivator in years to force me to give my all, Lin Zixiao saw the situation and held back no longer, taking out a map-like item. Then Lin Zixiao tossed the item into the air, revealing a blood-red map slowly unfolding, emitting a disturbing aura. 9 bins blood refining array. The next moment, as Lin Zixiao activated it, the blood-red map suddenly expanded into a scene several dozen zhang long, with intertwined black and red light curtains erupting within. Soon after, the scene before Qin Ming's eyes suddenly changed. He was astonished to find himself in a world constructed of mountains of corpses and seas of blood. The air was filled with a nauseating bloody smell. Countless blood-colored mountains and rivers resembling an inescapable maze. A single misstep could trigger the array restriction completely. Even Qin Ming's mind felt a slight dizziness. Outside the array, Lin Zixiao was managing the 9 bins blood refining array, just about to spare a hand to retrieve his cyan luo demon fire. But he again sensed an ominous foreboding. Roar! Within the array, behind Qin Ming appeared a ghostly figure of a 4-armed demon ape, its eerie, heavy-pupilled eyes opening, shooting 2 crimson beams. The various illusions within the 9 bins blood refining array began to crumble and vanish, becoming countless bubbles. And the array map's spiritual artifact released by Lin Zixiao was punched back to its original form by the demon ape, with one corner cracking open into a long seam, clearly damaging its spirituality. Blah! Lin Zixiao spat out a mouthful of fresh blood, eyes wide with disbelief, looking at Qin Ming. Had he already grown to such a level? This 9 bins blood refining array embodied his lifetime's effort and was a Tier 2 top-grade array. In sheer potential, it was no weaker than some ordinary Tier 3 arrays. Yet Qin Ming broke the array within mere breaths, leaving Lin Zixiao unable to accept it. Qin Ming must have secrets on him. But for a loose cultivator who could rise to foundation establishment, who didn't have secrets, Lin Zixiao had traversed the demonic path for so long. It was his first time encountering a cultivator who forced him into a losing position. With a grim expression, he put away the damaged array map and was about to deploy his secret technique. Yet the hairs on the back of his neck suddenly stood on end. Lin Zixiao instinctively moved to evade, but was still too late. Screech! 3 pitch-black earth spikes abruptly emerged from the void. Even with Lin Zixiao's quick response, one of the black earth spikes pierced through his abdomen. A gray figure silently emerged from the void, spreading its jaws to bite down on him. Swish! Lin Zixiao's silhouette instantly transformed into a remnant shadow, dodging the heaven-devouring rat's deadly strike. Huh, what kind of body technique is this? You managed to evade this Grandmaster's attack. The heaven-devouring rat's figure appeared in the air, looking at the direction where Lin Zixiao escaped, exclaiming in surprise. A trace of pain flashed across Lin Zixiao's stern face. Evidently, the heaven-devouring rat's ambush almost took his life. But he reacted. No way. How can this spirit pet speak human words? Tier 3 Demon King. Thinking of this, Lin Zixiao glanced at Qin Ming, beginning to feel a deep sense of caution. However, as a demonic hero, even though Lin Zixiao was at a disadvantage, he didn't show any signs of fear or panic. He quickly took out a pill and ingested it, then performed a hand seal, casting magic to stop the wound on his abdomen. A surge of demonic chi burst out, and the place pierced by the heaven-devouring rat's black earth spike began to restore to speed visible to the naked eye. Afterward, Lin Zixiao took out an array chest, waved his hand, and the surrounding black light curtain began to change, enclosing Qin Ming and the heaven-devouring rat. A trivial skill. The heaven-devouring rat watched and opened its mouth to spit out a pitch-black brilliance, which landed on the light screen of the array. Sizzle. The trapping array Lin Zixiao had cast crumbled instantly before the heaven-devouring rat's bloodline talent divine technique. Cough. Fellow Taoist Qin truly has good skills. Lin Zixiao, looking disheveled, wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth. This was one of the rare times since his cultivation journey that he had been driven into such dire straits. Back in the day, fellow Taoist Lin also pursued me relentlessly. It's just a role reversal now. Qin Ming sneered, secretly communicating with the heaven-devouring rat to plan to take him down. Swish! The heaven-devouring rat's figure disappeared again, slipping into the void. Upon seeing this, Lin Zixiao felt a chill in his heart, knowing that the mouse demon was about to launch another indefensible attack. Even someone as strong as him couldn't completely lock onto the mouse demon's position. It seemed to vanish into thin air. In an instant, Lin Zixiao suddenly grinned, his gaze calmly fixed on Qin Ming. Brush! The heaven-devouring rat's enigmatic figure appeared again within a 10-foot range beside Lin Zixiao, just as the heaven-devouring rat was about to succeed. Boom! A fierce black gale suddenly arose around Lin Zixiao, forming a black sphere that enveloped him entirely. The heaven-devouring rat was suddenly jolted away by this unexpected strike. It retreated tens of yards before stabilizing its posture, shaking off the dust on its gray fur, seemingly unharmed. Instead, it looked puzzled at the direction of the black sphere, and Lin Zixiao seemed to be performing some kind of demonic secret technique. This human kid indeed has some skill. His talent and fortune are only slightly inferior to the master. Damn it, if this grandmaster were in peak condition, there wouldn't be this much trouble. I could crush him to death with just a fart. Qin Ming also paused in the air. Witnessing such an eerie scene, he immediately released divine thought equivalent to early-stage golden core, probing into the inside of the black sphere. However, as soon as his divine thought touched the black sphere, it was bounced back, causing Qin Ming's eyes to narrow, his pupils reflecting wave-like patterns. Casting the eye of destruction, his divine thought instantly penetrated inside. Inside the black sphere, Lin Zixiao, with a gloomy expression, spoke to the air, "Old guy, if you don't act today, I might fall to fellow Taoist Qin's hands." Heh. You've finally come around, haven't you? But in my current weak state, the strength I can exert is less than 1/10,000th of what I had back then. It's normal that you can't compete with that brat. He also has 2 more Tier 2 late-stage spirit pets with extraordinary bloodlines waiting in the wings, likely waiting for their chance. A hoarse, domineering voice resounded within Lin Zixiao's body. What? There are actually 2 more Tier 2 late-stage great demons. Fellow Taoist Qin undoubtedly has something suspicious. Always calm and composed Lin Zixiao was taken aback upon hearing this. The Cultivation Realm is vast, with countless encounters and opportunities. That boy had some fortuitous encounters. It's nothing strange. Haven't you encountered me as well? But what surprises me the most is that the fellow Taoist Qin you speak of actually mastered the demonic race's celestial demon refining form strategy. If the great saints of the demon race were to know this, they wouldn't slaughter the entire human race. Now, that would be a surprise. Kiki, I haven't appeared in the world for thousands of years, and I never expected to meet such an interesting little fellow. When Lin Zixiao heard about the supreme cultivation technique of the demonic race, celestial demon refining form strategy, his face became uncertain and unsettled. From my observation, that boy's chi blood power has reached the transformation realm, and I suspect that the 3rd transformation of the celestial demon refining form strategy is about to reach great success. With your current strength, you are no match for him. Soon, I will take control of your body to seize the opportunity to escape. You consumed that 5 elements primordial spirit peach, which can restore some of my negligible power. When you have cultivated the demon technique I've passed to you to great success, it won't be too late to settle scores with him. Lin Zixiao seemed dubious of the other party's words and gritted his teeth, saying, "Old fellow, you'd better not play any tricks. Keek. Now we're like grasshoppers on the same rope, sharing glory and loss together. Rest assured and hand your body over." Outside the black sphere, Qin Ming had heard all that was happening inside. He was suddenly shocked and said, "Damn, a cheat." An old grandpa, living inside his body. Qin Ming's face turned slightly gloomy, not expecting that Lin Zixiao's fortuitous encounters were no small matter either, with a powerful spirit body parasitizing within him. Moreover, judging by the tone of the owner of that old voice, it seemed to have quite a background. I reckon it's a millennial-old demon. This is not looking good. Indeed, to reach the stature of a demonic overlord, Lin Zixiao's fortune and destiny are anything but ordinary. I just don't know if the spirit body parasitizing him was encountered in the Yunzhou wilderness ruins or if it existed prior. Fortunately, the spirit body is weak and seems to need a rather long time to recover. Lin Zixiao coming to the Inch Mountain Market was probably to seek spiritual objects to restore the soul body within him. Qin Ming was startled but breathed a sigh of relief. Really gave me quite a scare. Thank goodness, thank goodness. Qin Ming immediately sent a transmission to the heaven-devouring rat. Retreat quickly. Be cautious of any change. The heaven-devouring rat had initially intended to use its life-bound bloodline divine technique against the Black Sphere, but upon hearing Qin Ming's summons, it retreated back to his side without hesitation. At this moment, bang! The black gang wind stopped, and the central black sphere exploded. From within emerged Lin Zixiao, his whole being exuding demonic qi, with an evil grin etched on his face, his gaze landing on Qin Ming. Then, he formed a peculiar hand seal. His body wriggled as black scales spread across, claws grew from his hands, and black curved horns protruded from his head. His eyes transformed entirely into a crimson hue, and his figure began to swell, with his demon body growing to over 10 zhang tall. A pair of black fleshy wings sprouted from the demon's back as a boundless demonic might descended abruptly. Qin Ming stared at the other, his heart filled with vigilance. Yet, Lin Zixiao's transformed demon seemed entirely uninterested in continuing the battle with Qin Ming. The demon leaped into the air, a gang wind howling, disappearing in an instant, reaching for the cyan, luo, demon fire. Return? Dream on. Qin Ming's gaze was sharp, with all his true qi blood spirit erupting. Roar! The silhouette of a four-armed blood-colored demon ape, towering over 20 zhang, standing tall and imposing, completely overshadowed the demon form of Lin Zixiao. Crackle! The demon ape, clad in treasure armor, raised its four fists, leaping equally high, and its colossal blood-colored fist shadow hurtled toward Lin Zixiao like a meteor. The demon's black claws were just about to reach the cyan, luo demon fire, entwined by the spirit-devouring poison flame. Then Qin Ming's destructive fist shadow appeared before his eyes, forcing him to forsake the demonic fire and throw a punch at the blood-colored demon ape instead. Boom! Bang! 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 The resounding collision shook heaven and earth. The blood-colored demon ape, with its four arms alternating blows, brutally shattered the demon form's arm. Seeing he was no match for Qin Ming, the demon reluctantly glanced at the cyan, luo demon fire, then decisively employed a secret technique, transforming into a black silhouette and vanishing instantly from this space. Qin Ming swept his divine thought, discovering the other had escaped 50 miles away. He cast a glance at the spirit-devouring poison flame devouring the cyan, luo demon fire nearby, pondered briefly, and narrowing his eyes, he thought, forget it. The demon is quite tricky, and continuing pursuit might not lead to a complete kill. Above the Inch Mountain Market, in midair, a shadow appeared. Lin Zixiao's entire body was drenched in blood, in a semi-human, semi-demonic state due to the overexertion of his secret technique to escape, which had left significant after-effects on him. The earth-shattering duel between Qin Ming and Lin Zixiao had naturally been noticed by the nearby cultivators. Some fearless cultivators wanted to investigate and flew toward the area. But halfway there, they encountered the fleeing Lin Zixiao. This group of risk-taking cultivators, with ill intentions, was terrified at the sight of the overwhelming demonic presence of Lin Zixiao. Run for your lives. It's a demonic cultivator. Isn't this the demonic Lin Zixiao? He looks seriously injured. Should we attack together? There is a bounty on the Foundation establishment pill. At this moment, Lin Zixiao unleashed his demonic power, releasing waves of demonic energy, slicing out countless black beams. The cultivators near the Inch Mountain Market fell like harvested wheat. Blood sprayed as Lin Zixiao unleashed his demonic techniques, beginning a massacre, absorbing and refining the souls of these cultivators. The arm that Qin Ming had destroyed regrew at a visibly fast pace. Run away. It's the demonic cultivator Lin Zixiao. Hurry and call for help. On the other side, Qin Ming put away his true Qi blood spirit, waiting in place for the spirit-devouring poison flame to devour the cyan Luo demon fire. As time passed by bit, the ice-blue firebird completely suppressed the cyan-black demonic flame, accelerating its devouring. Qin Ming used a secret technique again to help the spirit-devouring poison flame speed up its devouring process. After the time it takes for an incense stick to burn, Jill, a clear cry echoed in the sky. The spirit-devouring poison flame had completely devoured and fused with the cyan Luo demon fire. Bang! A cluster of interwoven cyan blue heaven and earth spirit fire appeared before Qin Ming, exuding an astonishing power beyond Tier 2 spiritual fire. Even the air around was distorted by this scorching aura. Tier 3 heaven and earth spirit fire. Qin Ming's eyes shone with excitement as he reached out, and the cyan blue spirit-devouring poison flame flew back into his hand. Tier 3 spiritual flame, a power comparable to the Samadhi true flame of a golden core ancestor. A huge prophet. Lin Zixiao. He was indeed a great neighbor back then. Qin Ming could clearly sense that after the spirit-devouring poison flame advanced to Tier 3 spirit fire, its power had multiplied, and with the abilities of the cyan Luo demon fire, it was incomparable. Originally, Lin Zixiao could casually crush Foundation establishment perfection with just Tier 2 cyan Luo demon fire, and ordinary spiritual artifacts couldn't withstand the demonic fire. Now, with the new spirit-devouring poison flame, not many cultivators could resist it. More importantly, with Tier 3 spirit fire, he could refine Tier 3 spiritual pills and even form a golden core. He was one step closer to advancing to a Tier 3 alchemy grandmaster. Qin Ming's face was full of intense joy, and he immediately opened his mouth to swallow the Tier 3 spirit-devouring poison flame, placing it in his dantian for nurturing. Such a big commotion here will likely draw the attention of a golden core ancestor. I need to leave quickly. But before that, I have one more thing to do. Qin Ming flew down to the bodies of the 3 cultivators killed by Lin Zixiao, raised his hand, and cast the thorn technique on the corpses. In an instant, countless thick black vines sprang forth, rapidly growing and turning the corpses of the 3 Foundation establishment perfection cultivators into dry corpses. Why do I feel like my methods are even more like a demonic cultivator than Lin Zixiao? Looking at the 3 dry corpses, such a thought suddenly popped into Qin Ming's mind. But then he shook his head and thought to himself, what am I thinking? I am a righteous cultivator. As a righteous spirit plant master, using the essence blood of evil individuals to nurture spirit plants isn't too over the top, right? Qin Ming lifted his hand, collected the 3 gigantic blood pearls, and stored them away. He then shot out 3 fireballs, incinerating the corpses, and finally left the scene. 2 hours later, Qin Ming rode the silver-winged frost bee, taking a roundabout route and confirming that no one was following him before finally flying back to Wangwei Island. The people of the Wu family were still diligently tending the fields on the island. Seeing Qin Ming return, they all displayed expressions of awe, and Wu Jiang respectfully came over to greet him. But upon seeing Qin Ming return with a menacing aura akin to having just come from a slaughterhouse, Wu Jiang dared not ask further questions. It looks like the spirit rice has grown well this year. Keep up the good work, fellow Taoist Wu. He, I've planted another batch of 5-colored spirit rice, and the survival rate is much higher than before. Good, keep it up. After chatting with Wu Jiang for a bit, Qin Ming returned to his cave mansion on the main peak. He released all 3 of his spirit pets. Master, I did a great job on my outing this time, right? The heaven-devouring rat immediately began rubbing its small hands, smiling smugly as it sought praise from Qin Ming. Qin Ming couldn't help but smile at its crafty demeanor. Honestly, you don't look like a demon king at all now. I know exactly what you'll do just by looking at you. The heaven-devouring rat, thick-skinned, nonchalantly replied, Isn't it because I hang out with you, master? My past reputation is like the clouds in the sky. Qin Ming couldn't stand its flattery anymore. He immediately took out a spirit-transforming demon fruit from his storage pouch and tossed it to it. All right, where did you learn this? Such fancy talk. Eat it quickly and get back to tending the fields. You haven't taken care of the spirit field in days. It's going barren. Hehehe. Thank you, master, for the reward. The heaven-devouring rat accepted the spirit-transforming demon fruit, grinning widely. Qin Ming thought for a moment, then tossed a spirit-transforming demon fruit each to the profound water crocodile and the silver-winged frost bee. Although this item is most effective the first time it's consumed, the 2 spirit pets had previously eaten several, and the effects on cultivation weren't as significant. But it still had some effect. As for the heaven-devouring rat, it had only eaten one before, and consuming the one Qin Ming gave it now would likely restore much of its cultivation strength. After this battle, Qin Ming realized that the heaven-devouring rat's combat power was indeed extraordinary. The stronger it was, the more it could aid him. With the blood prohibition divine contract, he wasn't worried about it causing trouble. Afterwards, the 3 spirit pets left the cave mansion. The heaven-devouring rat, holding the spirit-transforming demon fruit, turned to the profound water crocodile and silver-winged frost bee and boasted, See that? You too should learn to flatter. Your face has to be thicker than a city's wall, and you'd easily get a tier 3 demon fruit. This is the essence of dealing with the human race I've accumulated over hundreds of years, understanding the nature of human cultivators. Watch and learn well. The heaven-devouring rat bickered with the other 2 beasts, and then each returned to their lair to consume the fruits and digest them. Qin Ming was left speechless watching the heaven-devouring rat. Next, he took out the other half of the copper mirror he had obtained from the black market and began to study it. Inside the cave mansion, Qin Ming took out the 2 copper mirror fragments and found that they could be perfectly joined together. As expected, they are fragments of the same artifact. After piecing the copper mirror together, a complete bronze mirror appeared before him. The back of the mirror was engraved with 8 trigram symbols and spirit patterns, while the mirror's surface was extremely smooth, emitting a mysterious and obscure aura. Even though this artifact had been damaged, Qin Ming could still feel that when intact, the Dharma mirror must have been an exceptionally powerful artifact. At least it would be much stronger than ordinary golden core stage artifacts. What a pity! It would be great if this treasure could be restored. Qin Ming gently stroked the mirror's surface, full of regret. Later, he studied the other half of the copper mirror fragment for a long time, and found it was also sealed by an ancient restriction. Still need to have the heaven-devouring rat erase the restriction inside the copper mirror first. I wonder how it's recovering after eating the spirit-transforming demon fruit. Qin Ming then stepped out of the cave mansion. As he just arrived outside, a vast amount of demon chi from the direction of the spirit field surged skywards, spreading all around. Even the profound water crocodile and silver-winged frost bee flew near the spirit field to watch. Ha ha ha! The master, has finally restored to tier 2 perfection. It's really not easy. Persist a little longer, and maybe I can restore all my cultivation and return to the tier 3 demon king form. Ha ha! The arrogant laughter of the heaven-devouring rat echoed among the spirit fields. When Qin Ming went over to find it, he saw the heaven-devouring rat still standing with its hands on its hips, laughing uproariously. Qin Ming walked over and gave a kick on the butt. What are you doing? Planning a rebellion now that you've restored your cultivation? Hee. Master, how would I dare to rebel? Just expressing my feelings, releasing some suppressed emotions. The heaven-devouring rat rubbed its butt, grinning broadly. Qin Ming nodded, then handed over the other half of the copper mirror to it. See if you can remove the restriction inside this fragment. The heaven-devouring rat took the copper mirror fragment, glanced at it briefly, and confidently patted its chest. Rest assured, Master. I've recovered much of my cultivation strength, and the divine techniques I can use have also been restored considerably. Now it only takes half a day to break the restriction inside. Upon hearing this, Qin Ming showed a hint of surprise. The last time the heaven-devouring rat removed the restriction from the first fragment, it took 2 days. Now it only needs half a day, indicating it has quite a variety of means in breaking restrictions. Receiving the fragment, the heaven-devouring rat began to focus on swallowing and spewing profound light to start breaking it. After half a day, Qin Ming was under the peach blossom tree, savoring the 5 elements primordial spirit peach, sipping jade Qilin wine, and watching the spirit farmer work below the island, feeling extremely content. The heaven-devouring rat, holding the fragment, smiled cheekily and handed it to Qin Ming. Master, the restriction inside has been released. Take a look. Oh, that was really quick. Qin Ming's eyes lit up, taking the copper mirror fragment and casually pulling out half of an ancient silk. After delivering the item, the heaven-devouring rat didn't leave immediately, its eyes wandering between the spirit peach and spirit wine. Qin Ming frowned slightly and then poured a bowl of jade Qilin wine. If there's nothing else, you can go back to farming. Hee. Thank you for the reward, Master. The heaven-devouring rat, having received its reward, scampered back to the spirit field to get busy. Qin Ming then spread out the silk, and the contents instantly made him beam with joy. It really is a complete treasure refining method. In the following time, apart from tending to the spirit field and spirit medicine, Qin Ming focused all his attention on this treasure refining technique. However, the more Qin Ming read, the more shocked he became because he learned from the contents of the ancient silk that this ancient bronze mirror was actually the life-bound artifact of an ancient great power from tens of thousands of years ago, known as the hooked jade golden light mirror. That golden core perfection powerhouse used to rely on this treasure mirror to dominate the cultivation realm, being almost invincible below the nascent soul stage. Countless golden core ancestors perished under the golden divine flame. However, for unknown reasons, that great power destroyed his life-bound artifact and hid a piece of ancient silk, recording his lifelong artifact refining expertise within. In addition, Qin Ming obtained another crucial piece of information in the latter half of the ancient silk. That is, the hooked jade golden light mirror originally had an artifact spirit, which the ancient great power sealed in a place in the Liang country cultivation realm, with a detailed location marked. If I could retrieve the artifact spirit, I wonder if I could completely restore the treasure mirror. But something doesn't feel right. Could it be bait in a distant place like Liang country? Anyone else seeing the description of the treasure mirror's power would probably go searching for the artifact spirit according to the location. But Qin Ming, adhering to a cautious principle, did not rush to seek it out. Since he had already cultivated the spiritual materials capable of refining the artifact embryo, he planned to first attempt forging a life-bound artifact embryo according to the method on the ancient silk. However, a year later, I will definitely need to go to Liang country, to Profound Creek Valley to obtain the Golden Core Formation pill formula. By then, I might explore and watch the matter of the artifact spirit. Subsequently, Qin Ming memorized the entire treasure refining technique, without missing a word. The methods of inscribing spirit pattern restrictions and sacrificial refining techniques within were practiced countless times by him as well. Half a month later, Qin Ming walked out of the cave mansion and came before the life-bound spirit plant Yin Yang Profound Vine, where 4 golden terms floated in his view. Name: Yin Yang Profound Vine Entry. Abundant Lifespan X5, maturity 86%. Name, Yin Yang Profound Vine Entry, Mana Spring, maturity 87%. Name, Yin Yang Profound Vine Entry, Leaf of Space-Time, maturity 85%. Name, Yin Yang Profound Vine Entry, Spirit Plant Seed Treasure, maturity 88%. After feeding the over 10 Foundation Establishment Tribulation Cultivation Blood Pearls and 3 Foundation Establishment Perfection Blood Pearls obtained last time, the growth progress of the Demon Flower on the Yin Yang Profound Vine indeed accelerated significantly and is about to mature. Subsequently, Qin Ming reached out and retrieved several dozen more blood pearls. These blood pearls were collected from the Mist Illusion Realm, all from some demon beasts that unwittingly entered the realm and were turned into dried corpses by the thorny spirit seeds laid out within. Though most were from low-tier demon beasts, there were only 5 blood pearls from Tier 2 demon beasts. I reckon these blood pearls should be enough to urge the demon flower on the Yin Yang Profound Vine to maturity. Qin Ming waved his hand, allowing dozens of blood pearls to fall beneath the life-bound spirit plant Yin Yang Profound Vine. Countless black vines danced, absorbing all the blood pearls thoroughly. The profound vine grew taller and taller, with the demon flower on its vines shining brilliantly, starting to grow rapidly. 3 days later, on the Yin Yang Profound Vine, dozens of silver-black intertwined spirit fruits appeared. Qin Ming reached out, harvesting all the spirit fruits from the vines. In an instant, 3 blue entries and 1 purple entry appeared in his sea of consciousness. This entry of Spirit Plant Seed Treasure is unexpectedly a purple entry. Qin Ming's mind fell upon the entry quietly lying within his sea of consciousness, and he was greatly surprised in his heart. But upon considering, it makes sense. Once this entry is used, it can plant a wood attribute artifact embryo into high-tier spirit plants. After lengthy cultivation, it allows the artifact to grow alongside the spirit plant, seizing the natural creations of heaven and earth. The higher the potential of the planted artifact embryo, the greater the future tier and power of the planted artifact. It is also intimately connected to the tier of the high-tier spirit plant where the artifact embryo is planted. However, Qin Ming has the life-bound spirit plant Yin Yang Profound Vine. Planting the artifact embryo on it should yield a product not of low tier. Because the higher the tier of a spirit plant and the longer the cultivation time, determines the final tier and power of the matured artifact. His life-bound spirit plant, Yin Yang Profound Vine, after further advancement, has probably already reached Tier 4 level. Thinking of his future life-bound artifact, it surely won't fall short. Qin Ming put aside these thoughts and focused his mind on the Mana Spring and Abundant Lifespan entries. A look of excitement spread across his face. He then tapped on the Abundant Lifespan X5 entry, and suddenly, a vast power of time descends upon Qin Ming. In the mysterious realm, an unfathomable spiritual power instantly increased Qin Ming's lifespan by 250 years. Now, Qin Ming's lifespan reached 1,110 years, comparable to the lengthy lifespan of a nascent soul period patriarch, on par with a 1,000-year-old turtle. This is the longevity many cultivators dream of. Over 1,000 years of lifespan. Like a turtle, Qin Ming opened his ink-black eyes, showing a satisfied expression. The Yin Yang Profound Vine also emitted a delighted aura, its vine dancing, seemingly resonating with Qin Ming. Then, Qin Ming immediately sat cross-legged and tapped on the Mana Spring entry. Boom! A vast and surging mana suddenly gushed forth from Qin Ming's body, endlessly. The cyan longevity, liquid Dharma power, like a sapphire river descending from the sky, merged into his mana sea. Qin Ming's mana aura continuously surged up, and his ancient wood longevity technique ran in circulation, refining the mana to become purer. After 2 days and 2 nights of cultivation, Qin Ming completely absorbed the mana from the Mana Spring entry, comparable to several years of arduous cultivation currently, advancing 1/5 closer to achieving foundation establishment perfection. Upon finishing cultivation, a fragrant plant essence qi surrounded him. The profound water crocodile lay beside Qin Ming as usual, opening its mouth to absorb the overflow of plant essence qi, while its aura constantly changed and benefited greatly. Second brother, leave some for me. I have to absorb. At first, the heaven-devouring rat didn't understand why the profound water crocodile came to breathe near Qin Ming during his cultivation. Until it tried it itself, the instant the plant essence qi entered, its entire body felt tingling numbness. How to describe this sensation? It was like floating among celestial beings, and the benefits it brought were obvious. The heaven-devouring rat couldn't miss this opportunity and imitated the profound water crocodile, diligently absorbing the surrounding plant essence qi near Qin Ming. I must say, my master is truly extraordinary. To have cultivated such a technique, apparently there's a source of endless vitality, resembling the exuberance of spring. Even the cyan essence qi I absorbed improved my physique and bone structure a lot. No wonder my second and third are growing so quickly. Even among the demon race, they are outstanding. Turns out it's because they can absorb this essence continuously. Seems this time, I've indeed gained fortune out of misfortune. Hey. Qin Ming exhaled, then stood up, glanced at the two spirit beasts beside him, and didn't bother with them. He alone went to the spirit tea forest and bamboo forest. After years of growth, both tier 2 top-grade spirit plants are soon ready to harvest. The matter of refining artifact embryos must also be prioritized, especially with a void bamboo Qin Ming enhanced using the spirit plant spirit entry that develop intelligence and is heading towards tier 3 spirit plant. The dazzling entries all enter Qin Ming's sight. Name, Snow Soul Tea entry, Soul Power Crystal X5, ripeness 94%. Name, Snow Soul Tea entry, Leaf of Spacetime X5, ripeness 96%. Name, Snow Soul Tea entry, Weak Lifespan X5, ripeness 93%. Name, Void Bamboo entry, Chi Blood Crystal X5, ripeness 87%. Name, Void Spirit Bamboo entry, Leaf of Spacetime X5, ripeness 82%. Qin Ming immediately used a Leaf of Spacetime entry to hasten the ripening of all spirit plants here. Afterwards, Qin Ming harvested the spirit plants with entries. 5 blue entry leaves quietly appeared within his sea of consciousness. The entries of Weak Lifespan, Chi Blood Crystal, and Soul Power Crystal were used on spot. Qin Ming's lifespan increased another 50 years, reaching 1,160 years. The Divine Soul Power and Chi Blood Power were also further enhanced. Next, he came before the Void Bamboo endowed with intelligence and used a quality enhancement entry on it. In an instant, this spirit bamboo emitted a joyous emotion. Buzz. Golden spirit patterns on the spirit bamboo all lit up, then suddenly rose higher, growing to 5 zhang tall. A tier 3 spirit wood aura emanated from it. This spirit bamboo in the void bamboo forest looked like a crane among a flock of chickens, extremely conspicuous. At the same time, with the birth of this tier 3 spirit bamboo, plus previously helping to save and plant the tier 3 spirit transformation demon fruit from Master Vast Sea, it signifies Qin Ming officially becoming a tier 3 spirit plant grandmaster. However, Qin Ming was not in a hurry to advance. Waiting for the artifact refinement to be completed was not too late. Qin Ming took out the cyan simmer sword, cutting down the tier 3 void bamboo. He already had the choice for his first life-bound artifact in mind. That is the Wood Emperor Nail, one of the 4 wood attribute artifacts recorded on ancient silk. This type of artifact is one of the most powerful recorded in the treasure refining technique. Moreover, it's in a set numbering 81, held innate restraint against demonic cultivation techniques, ghostly beings, and evil, filthy magic. Aside from that, the Wood Emperor Nail is elusive, silent, hard to defend against. A single wood emperor nail has extraordinary power, let alone 81. As for why not choose the divine wood cauldron or time talisman? On one hand, Qin Ming's own cultivation technique already possesses healing effects. The Four Seasons Divine Light, divine technique born from ancient evergreen body great success is even more powerful than the woodwill treasure light of the divine wood cauldron. The silver-winged frost bee already has the time poison sting, and the time talisman can be refined later. Qin Ming held the tier 3 void spirit bamboo, feeling the full spirituality within, with a smile of anticipation on the corner of his mouth. He returned to the cave mansion and, according to the method on the treasure refining technique, began refining. The tier 3 void bamboo is not only full of spirituality, but also entirely transparent like jade. Its surface is covered with golden spirit patterns, possessing a void attribute that differs from the 5 elements. This characteristic can conceal the fluctuation of spiritual power, shield divine thought, and is difficult for a cultivator's divine thought to detect. Even more remarkably, this void bamboo has developed intelligence, with extraordinary potential and strong adaptability for the future. Although it is currently just a tier 3 low-grade spiritual material, it could be refined into an artifact embryo and planted within the life-bound spirit plant Yin-Yang Profound Vine. As time goes on, it will inevitably grow to a top-tier artifact. The wood emperor nail artifact, besides its strong concealment, has the greatest advantage of having a considerable attack range, incredibly high speed, and strong penetrative power. It is mainly treacherous and insidious, and ordinary defensive artifacts can hardly fend it off. It's hard to guard against. However, this set of artifacts also has a significant drawback. If only 1 or 2 are deployed, that's fine. But as a set artifact, once many wood emperor nails are activated, it consumes a cultivator's mana greatly. Moreover, it demands a high level of divine thought strength from the cultivator. Even with Qin Ming's current abundant mana and divine thought comparable to the golden core stage, it might not be able to activate too many at once. This treasure, as one of the foremost attacking artifacts recorded on ancient silk, naturally requires high demands on the user while being powerful. Once the wood emperor nail is out, all evils retreat, and all cultivators are terrified. Qin Ming's gaze was sharp as he began to decompose and refine the void bamboo according to the treasure refining technique. Each wood emperor nail is 3 inches long, which relatively conserves spiritual material, and the tier 3 void spirit bamboo in Qin Ming's hand is enough to refine the entire set artifact embryo. He has an entry in hand, and not just 81 nails. He could ripen even 81 artifact flying swords again. However, the tier 3 void bamboo is merely the primary material and must be supplemented with other artifact refining auxiliary materials, which at the very least should begin at tier 3. Qin Ming plans to exchange or purchase other auxiliary materials with spiritual materials from Master Vast Sea and Wei Wuya. Because dealing with tier 3 top-grade spiritual material resources, they likely only have stock with the Golden Core Ancestor, and it's nearly impossible to find on the market. After all, the Southern Wilderness Cultivation Realm, compared to other realms, is a remote backwater, where the Golden Core stage is the ceiling. Resources are relatively limited and are all controlled by these high-tier cultivators. Especially the profound Gold Divine Sand, as a tier 3 low-grade auxiliary material for refining the wood emperor nail, it can increase the artifact's penetrating ability against various defensive artifacts, mana shields, defensive spirit lights, etc., with strong penetration. This item is absolutely indispensable. I've heard that the Thunder Origin Sect has a profound gold crystal or vein, producing a small amount of profound gold divine sand, monopolized by the Thunder Origin Sect. Presumably, Wei Wuya should have some. In addition, void nether soil is needed to neutralize the spirituality of various spiritual materials and improve the success rate of artifact refining. This void nether soil is also a tier 3 low-grade spiritual material, not easy to obtain unless from the Golden Core Ancestor. There is also the tier 3 dark nether stone to enhance the void attribute. Purchasing all of these will surely be a considerable expense, but it's all worth it for refining the artifact. Qin Ming's hands kept changing into spells, and after several days, he decomposed the Tier 3 void bamboo into 81 nail-shaped embryos, then sealed them with sealing spirit talismans and encapsulated them with an ointment jade box for future use. After completing this, he's ready to go to Vast Sea Immortal City again to exchange spiritual materials with Master Vast Sea. So I wonder if Wei Wuya is around, or I'll have to make a trip to the Thunder Origin Sect. Thus, Qin Ming summoned the silver-winged frost bee to prepare to leave the island. This time he didn't plan on bringing the other two beast pets, as he intended a quick trip in the spirit field. The heaven-devouring rat was wielding the divine hoe, weeding the spirit field. Seeing Qin Ming about to leave, it carried the spiritual hoe and ran over, smilingly volunteering. "Master, where are you going? Need any service from me?" Qin Ming replied indifferently. "I'm going out to buy some materials. I'll be back soon. Just focus on your tasks." Then Qin Ming opened the Mist Illusion Realm, mounted the silver-winged frost bee, and flew off Wangyue Island. The heaven-devouring rat looked at the distant sky, a hint of loss on its face, angrily throwing the divine hoe to the ground with a clang, and cursed. "Peh, I really don't want to farm this lousy land. What's the fun? I want to go out and wander too." At this moment, in the spirit field, a long black vine of the yin-yang profound vine lashed down like a divine whip. Snap! It struck the heaven-devouring rat's buttocks hard. "Ouch! That hurts! I was wrong. I was wrong. I love farming. I love farming." The heaven-devouring rat jumped in pain from the lash, clutching its buttocks, grimacing with pain, learning its lesson quickly. It swiftly picked up the divine hoe and earnestly went back to plow the spirit field. An hour later, Qin Ming, riding the silver-winged frost bee, flew rapidly to Vast Sea Immortal City. This time, as soon as he entered Immortal City, he sent a message to Master Nail and Shi, then went straight to Vast Sea Peak's main hall. To Qin Ming's delight, as he entered the hall, he found Wei Wuya from the Thunder Origin Sect was also there, seemingly discussing matters with Master Nail and Shi, saving him the trouble of running to the Thunder Origin Sect. "Greetings to both seniors. Friend Qin, no need for formalities. Hee. Fellow Taoist Qin is here." Wei Wuya remained as carefree as ever, treating Qin Ming as an equal, which was also a gesture of goodwill. "Friend Qin, please sit. Did you make a special trip here to see me for a particular reason?" Qin Ming secretly marveled that the top-notch connections he had accumulated over the years were finally coming into use. Looking across the cultivation realm of Wei country, what foundation establishment independent cultivator could make a golden core ancestor pay such attention? Only Qin Ming, perhaps. Junior has come this time to exchange some Tier 3 spiritual materials with the two elders, Qin Ming stated directly. His voice fell. Wei Wuya's face also showed a smile as he asked with great interest, "Oh, Tier 3 spiritual materials? Could it be that fellow Taoist Qin is finally preparing to cultivate Tier 3 spirit plants? Or is it to refine Tier 3 spiritual pills?" Master Nail and Shi's eyes also lit up upon hearing Qin Ming's words, suddenly intrigued. "Ah, yes indeed. Junior has been cultivating a Tier 3 spirit plant recently and needs some special materials," Qin Ming said, concealing certain details. Even though Qin Ming had a good relationship with them, he naturally wouldn't truthfully tell the two Golden Core ancestors that he was preparing to refine a Tier 3 life-bound artifact. When it comes to one's trump cards, the deeper they are hidden, the better. Nail and Shi, though somewhat prepared, was still surprised. "Oh, so that's the truth. No wonder friend Qin has reached the pinnacle in the path of spiritual plants. It seems that after 100 years, the cultivation realm of Wei country might once again witness the birth of a Tier 3 spirit plant grandmaster. Ha ha ha! Truly delightful and worthy of congratulations." Wei Wuya's face also bore a similar smile. If fellow Taoist Qin would be willing to join the Thunder Origin Sect, not to mention Tier 3 spiritual materials, whatever you want, I am willing to give to you. What do you think? He directly attempted to recruit. Qin Ming gave a bitter laugh and waved his hand. Might I ask what kind of spiritual materials fellow Taoist Qin needs, and what do you have to offer in exchange? Wei Wuya knew Qin Ming's temperament, so he had anticipated this and wasn't concerned. Qin Ming immediately expressed his needs. Junior needs Tier 3 profound gold divine sand, void nether soil, shadow stone. Listening to the lineup of Tier 3 spiritual materials that Qin Ming listed, Wei Wuya and Nalan, she couldn't help but be moved. Divine sand, soil, and stone, it all indeed sounded like it had to do with farming. Of course, these top-grade spiritual materials had broad purposes, yet neither Nalan, she nor Wei Wuya harbored much suspicion. A Tier 3 spirit plant master is a rarity not just in Wei country, but in the entire southern wilderness cultivation realm, making it hard to guess what sort of spirit plant Qin Ming intended to cultivate, or his purpose. So, cultivating a Tier 3 spirit plant requires so many Tier 3 spiritual objects. This is the first time I have realized it. Might fellow Taoist Qin be willing to inform us what spirit plant you aim to cultivate upon advancing to a Tier 3 spirit plant master? I do have some profound gold divine sand, but not much. In a moment, Wei Wuya's curiosity was piqued. If Qin Ming truly managed to advance to a Tier 3 spirit plant master, it would indeed be a legendary moment in Wei country's history. After gathering his thoughts a bit, Qin Ming then said, a Tier 3 low-grade spirit plant. The 3 red soul reviving grass. What? So, it's this rare spirit grass. It seems friend Qin must be quite confident. Nalan, she was also slightly astonished, probing subtly. Qin Ming was candid with the two ancestors. Haha, the spirit grass has already been successfully cultivated. However, the cultivation process still requires a lot of attention and spiritual materials. Nalan Shi and Wei Wuya, hearing that Qin Ming had already successfully cultivated a Tier 3 spirit grass, were momentarily stunned. By Qin Ming's account, he was already one step into the threshold of a Tier 3 Grandmaster. The two ancestors were inwardly shocked, raising their assessment of Qin Ming to unseen heights. With that being the case, what would you like to trade for my profound crystal divine sand, fellow Taoist Qin? Wei Wuya's stern face bore a teasing smile. Qin Ming smiled slightly and took out 3 primordial spirit peaches and 500 caddies of top-grade spirit nesting rice from his storage pouch, asking Wei Wuya, will these spiritual objects suffice? The 2 golden core ancestors in the hall lit up at the sight of the 5 elements primordial spirit peaches. Especially Master Nalan Shi, an established golden core ancestor of considerable age, whose desire for longer lifespan far exceeded that of Wei Wuya. Being a newly minted golden core, Wei Wuya surely had a few hundred more years of life. Yet even so, no cultivator could resist the allure of extending their life. He could use it for the elders in his sect. While merely a Tier 2 top-grade spirit fruit, these spiritual peaches' effects and value were nearly on par with that of Tier 3 spiritual objects. I never expected it. I heard that at Shui Zhili's black market auction, a 5 elements primordial spirit peach was once auctioned off. I assume it was friend Qin who offered it, correct? At this point, the dignified visage of Master Nalan, she was replaced with a beaming smile. Haha, indeed that one was put forth by me. Qin Ming answered honestly. Wei Wuya nodded in agreement. Deal. However, how about adding a condition? A jar of jade Qilin wine? Wei Wuya stated his condition. Qin Ming had been pleasantly surprised to agree to the trade, but upon hearing Wei Wuya's additional condition, his eyebrow furrowed. Realizing it was only that, Qin Ming exhaled in relief, thinking that Wei Wuya was going to demand something outrageous in addition to the profound gold divine sand. In that case, I'll gift Elder Wei an extra jar, he said, taking out 3 primordial spirit peaches and 500 caddies of top-grade spirit nesting rice for the trade. Wei Wuya smiled broadly, happily accepting Qin Ming's offering. He handed a jade box to Qin Ming, asking, Friend Qin, are these profound gold divine sands enough? Upon receiving the jade box and opening it, Qin Ming saw a kind of profound golden spiritual sand inside, its surface glowing. He put the box away, saying, "Thank you, Elder Wei. This is more than enough. I happen to have the void nether soil and the shadow stone as well." "Master Nayland," she said, "I wonder if you could exchange them with more primordial spirit peaches?" To this, Qin Ming replied with a faint smile and took out the remaining dozen or so 5 elements primordial spirit peaches he had. Master Naylandshi's eyes brightened as she realized what was happening. He had brought quite a few more surprises to deliver with him to the great Qin. Elder Nayland's expression showed joy between her brows, as she had not expected Qin Ming to bring such items during his visit to Vast Sea Peak. Although Qin Ming was eager to refine his artifact and was preparing to leave. "Fellow Taoist Qin, you should be cautious recently. Some days ago, some demonic cultivators have emerged in activity from the 6 demonic sects again," Naylandshi advised. Qin Ming was surprised and his eyebrows knit together when he heard that. More specifically, there have been sightings of the 6 demonic sects cultivators in the area, and it seems they're up to no good again. He listened and felt a bit of bittersweet relief, saying, "I appreciate Elder's warning. I was actually also invited to fellow Taoist Shue's black market transaction the other day, but I left just in time. Otherwise, I fear I might not have been standing here right now." After achieving his purpose, Qin Ming left the Vast Sea Peak. Inside the Great Hall, Wei Wuya and Nayland, she watched Qin Ming's departure. "Fellow Taoist Nayland, do you think friend Qin can really achieve the Tier 3 Spirit Plant Grandmaster Realm?" "I wouldn't presume to say for certain, but in my opinion, the chances are high. After all, I had previously heard that friend Qin was able to obtain a lead on a complete Tier 3 Spirit Plant Master's legacy from the Mo family. Besides, he also has connections with Su Yuqing of the Great Jin Immortal Dynasty. We know that the Su family is quite influential. It's unfortunate that with all his prowess in the path of spiritual plants and alchemy, his pseudo-spirit root talent limits him. Reaching foundation establishment stage is the ceiling for him. Otherwise, it would not be impossible even for him to achieve the Golden Core Tao. Yes, indeed. Quite a pity.